How about let's talk about the mugshot, should we? How much do you think he practiced that? Do you think they showed they like had the angle and he practiced? And how many of you think he was trying to do Blue Steel? That's what I think he's doing. I think on the flight over, he was watching what's that? What is that movie called? Shit, what is that? Whatever. What's that movie called? Somebody. It's okay. No, I don't need to reset it. I'll just record it. It's no big deal. Yeah, Zoolander. There we go. Just practicing Blue Steel because that looked like the most rehearsed picture I've ever seen. Inmate number P01135809. Tough break. Tough break for him there. I don't know if you heard this story. Scientists finally sequenced the human Y chromosome. I don't know what that means, but I've been told that's very, very important. So if anybody knows what that means and wants to tell us about it, come on up. Because it's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. We've been 30 minutes and we've had one guest. Thank you. This is a beta live. And if you are not a beta and you are an alpha, come on up. We can talk about it. But yeah, this is definitely a beta live. It should be easy to roll over because I'm a beta. Jesus was brown, poor, educated, and loved the worst of us. Yeah, not a Republican. Not a Republican. You guys can't see the topic? For real? MAGA Mike. I assume you're pretty liberal?
Wow,
this is
beta energy in here is just off the chains. So much
awesome,
weakness in one live. I've never seen such a thing.
A lot. It's almost entirely weakness, but thank God you're here to toughen things out.
Jesus had absolutely no political affiliations.
Liberal is not.
Hold on. Or your Republican, anything.
Hey, MAGA Mike. Liberal is not a political party. It's an ideology.
You have the wrong idea of the greatest man that ever lived. You don't even know him.
Well, so I think I probably. Well, either do you.
Hate him.
Yeah, you don't know him either.
You hate.
I don't know him. I said I don't know him. Remember?
Men.
No, I don't. I don't.
You don't.
What? Yeah. What? Hey, bro. Do you want to have a conversation? Hey, MAGA Mike. What do you think about this? What if we just had a conversation instead of you just being mad?
Okay, let's have a conversation.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Certainly.
Okay. Which one of these topics do you want to talk about?
I mean, I started with Jesus. I kind of said my piece, so let's just start there.
Sure. Yeah, I think
Jesus was a liberal with your political views, essentially exactly how you are today. That's what you think.
No. So
okay, well then, nice. You just did you not?
MAGA Mike, did you want to have a conversation or no?
Yeah, go ahead. Explain yourself.
Yeah, so I think Jesus held a lot of ideas that would be considered pretty liberal, like when people were going to stone that sex worker, and he stood in front of her and he's like, hey, if any of you don't have sin, then you can throw the stone. And then they all left, right? He protected a sex worker. One of the things that he was the most angry about is when churches were making money. Sounds pretty liberal to me. Do you remember when he said that it's easier for a elephant or a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven?
My dude.
That sounds pretty liberal, right?
So because some of the things he said were considered liberal to you, but he was literally preaching the word of God. Like he wasn't a liberal or a conservative. He didn't take a political side. He chose not to be part
MAGA
of
Mike,
it.
these aren't MAGA Mike, you're misunderstanding what liberal means.
So some of his
MAGA Mike, hold on, brother. Hold on. Liberal is not a political side. It's an ideology. It has nothing. The only reason you think it's a political side is because hold on.
Were liberal.
What's that? Well, I've read the Bible.
Some of them. Okay.
I've read the Bible probably way more than you. I was a devout Christian for 30 plus years. I was a volunteer missionary. I've read the Bible cover to cover multiple times. I think that Jesus had a very liberal ideology.
Are you a Christian?
No, not anymore.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, but see, why does that matter? Wait, why does that matter?
The Bible a bunch of times.
Mike, why does that matter? Why does that matter?
Let me explain something.
No, why does it matter?
Because it just goes to show that godless people are the ones who always speak for Jesus. You think that you walk in and say, oh yeah, he was a liberal, so suddenly Republicans now are detached from Jesus in an ideological standpoint.
That's not even what I said.
You can separate us from
literally,
Jesus? You can't.
Mike, all I said was he was a liberal.
That's what you're doing in this
Why
live.
are you so upset?
Jesus was a liberal.
Why are you so
saying
mad?
That he was not conservative at all.
Correct,
so
he was not conservative.
Conservatives.
What is
just man up and say what the point of your life is. Man up and say
Mike, what does conservative mean?
You're speaking on behalf of Jesus?
What does conservative
who do you
mean?
Think you are? You're godless.
What
You're the
does
last
conservative
on behalf
mean?
Of Jesus. So there we go. That's a
what
huge
does conservative mean, Mike? Mikey.
What does conservative
what
mean?
Does it mean?
Clearly you seem to think that he had no conservative principles whatsoever.
Okay, let me so Mike, shut up for a second. So
that's rude.
I know it is rude, but you won't stop. You seem incapable of having a conversation. So I'm trying to get back to a place where we can have a conversation. So conservative means that you're averse to change or innovation. From the start of the Bible till the end of the Bible, all Jesus was doing was making changes. By nature, he is not a conservative. Conservative would mean that from the beginning, he never made any changes. He clearly made changes. The New Testament is the new law. It was a new law, and that law was more about what's in your heart than keeping rules. By nature, he was not conservative.
By nature, he was the son of God. He's beyond liberal. He's beyond conservative.
Respond to what I said. Don't just go on to an angry rant. Don't go on to an angry rant. Mike, what is the point of your life? Mike, I'm going to mute you.
Your point.
Mike, nope, nobody cares. Mike, if you can't answer the questions and have a conversation instead of just flying off the handle and getting upset, then I've got to bump you. But if you want to talk, let's talk about it. So I need you to respond. Was Jesus conservative by definition? Go ahead. You can turn on. There you go, Mike.
It's one thing to answer your question, but it's the path you're choosing to alive.
No, you won't answer the fucking question. You just keep telling me how much you like Jesus. Answer the question.
So far beyond you.
Answer the question.
Godless.
See, you're doing it again.
You're fucking godless. You're a godless commie, and you're a beta male. Republicans are closer to Jesus than you ever will, bro. Ever will. You'll never understand the greatness of God.
He
wasn't a liberal or a fucking Democrat or Republican. He was the son of the greatest God. That's what he was. So don't sit here try to make him some sort of human liberal, like he would just hate conservatives if he was here today. Like nice fucking lie, dude. Toxic masculinity. No, that's the weakness.
Mike,
you're weak.
Hey,
and
Mike.
You're out here trying to fucking defile Jesus's beliefs to try to say he's on your side, not ours.
Mike, unironically, you're too stupid to talk to. Like, I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with like a human before, but normally when you talk to another human, if they say something, you respond to what they say. Not you. You just go on a script. You just keep talking about the things that you believe. You're incapable of a conversation. I'm going to give you one more chance. Not Republican, not Democrat. We're talking about ideologies. I believe that Christians should be liberal. I believe Jesus was a liberal. You're saying he was conservative. So what's the difference here?
Yeah, maybe I believe.
Okay, so can you respond to Mike?
If you said I believe, but you're stating that
all right, we got to do it again. Do I have to mute you again?
You're a fascist on the live.
Okay, so we do have to mute you again. I'm going to give you another shot. Okay, Mike, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say the question, and then when I stop with the question, I'm going to unmute your microphone, and then, Mike, what you're going to do is answer with something even fucking remotely close to what I asked. And if you can't do that, I got to get somebody else. And you can go back to screaming at the wall or whatever you do. But the question is, Jesus, does he fit the definition of being averse to change or innovation? Or is the story of Jesus one of almost constant change and getting and evolving? All right, Mike. It's your turn.
Okay, yes, I am NPC. You are right. Jesus is liberal.
Okay, thank you. Cool.
Okay, and you're believing.
Why are you talking for Jesus, Mike? You're talking for Jesus? Now you're saying that Jesus is a liberal?
Can you give me another command on how I'm supposed to reply, please? Fascist. The fascist. Jesus hater. You hate Jesus, bro.
I hate
You hate
Listen,
Jesus.
I don't really have that
I
much
just
beef with
admit it.
Jesus,
Like,
but I'm not too sure
you
about
hate him and
you.
you hate Republicans. You're
No,
filled with hate
mostly
in your
just
heart.
right now.
And that's
I
why
don't
you're
have
hating me. Is
right
'cause
now.
I'm
I don't hate
smoking
anybody,
you,
but
bro.
I have
I
questions
smoke
about
you on
you.
every way
All right,
possible.
All right, MAGA Mike. You
You're
just said
talentless.
wait. What'd you
You're
say about high
talentless.
school? Wait, say
You're
that
an
again about high
observer.
school. Say
I'm a
the thing about high
superstar,
school
and
again.
you're an observer,
Mike,
and you're godless.
Mike, say the thing
You're a
about
big
high
mouth.
school again, real quick.
Say what?
Say what you just said about high school, real quick again.
I said you're godless.
No, before that. You said
You
something
hate
about me.
Republicans.
No, the
and
part
you
about
hate
high school.
Jesus, and you hate everything
All right.
that the
listen.
whole world has ever been.
Mike,
And that's
real
the
quick.
truth of the matter.
Mike, real quick.
You're
I don't
filled
think
with
we're
hate,
gonna,
bro.
I don't think we're going to get anywhere, but I'm going to give you 30
you're a
seconds.
bigot.
I'm going to give you 30
hate
seconds,
Jesus.
and I'll give you the
hate
last
Jesus.
word. Are you ready? Mike, I'm going
You're
to
an
give you the last word,
anti-Christian.
okay? Okay?
You're a Christianophobe.
The floor is yours. You have 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, 30 seconds. Jesus was the greatest man that will ever.
Of course, I'm not going to give you 30 seconds. Hit him with the setup. Fuck out of here, Mike. The fuck out of here with your dumb ass. Of course, I wasn't going to give you 30 seconds. Of course, I wasn't. Tilde and Maggie.
Hey,
Hi. Hey.
always pull me up after like there's so much to unpack.
That's what you're here for, to unpack this.
Okay, so this guy, wow. Jesus was such a liberal. That's
Yeah.
why they murdered him.
Yeah.
If he had been establishment, he'd have just been another guy.
Yeah, like who was it? Who was it again that punished Jesus? I don't know if we're allowed to say that word. I believe it was the government, the people in charge.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
why? Because he was asking them to change,
And
to
the
be more
Jews.
kind, to not make
Yeah.
money out of churches. Yeah, sounds pretty conservative to me.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
the Jewish leadership that told Rome, yes, this is the man. No, you can't let him go free. Let this criminal go free and crucify him.
Yeah.
I,
So
it's not
So-
that hard.
yeah,
It-
MAGA Mike. By the way, I guess I could have let him on. It was just a matter of time before he blamed the Jews for something that was coming, and he dropped it in the comments there. He let us know in the comments where he stands on Jewish people. And for the record, I love the Jewish people. I love all people. I even love all of you Christians. I just don't know why you don't know that Jesus was liberal. It's so obvious that he was liberal.
Yeah, well, and of course, but that doesn't tie into how they live and what they want to believe. Because if Jesus was a liberal, then that might mean that they would have to prioritize taking care of people instead of their bank accounts.
Yeah, I have a hard time picturing Jesus shouting at young women in front of a Planned Parenthood. I just don't think that's where he would be. I just have this feeling he wouldn't be using like slurs on signs, screaming at people going into Planned Parenthood. That doesn't seem like Jesus to me. But maybe those are some of the books they left out. Maybe when they made the Bible, there were some books in there, and Jesus had really strong views on abortion and how you should handle people who have an abortion, that you should shout at them. I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they would want to strengthen that the ACA or the Affordable Care Plan, and they would want
He would definitely vote. Yeah, he'd vote against funding school lunches. He'd vote against all that. Yeah.
Well, he would have made those buoys at the border even more deadly.
That's correct. Yeah. Well, he wouldn't. Yeah. That's correct.
He'd have mounted lasers on them. So.
I don't even know what to say to like Christian Republicans. I don't even know. Like, it's fine. It's cool. Like, if your beliefs tell you that having an abortion is wrong, that's fine. I'm cool with that. But if that leads you to be an abysmal person in every other aspect of your life, including the way that you treat people who think differently than you about abortion, yeah, like you're not really a Christian.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You're. Well, I mean, you've heard the Baptist Church has expressed some concern because people are coming up to pastors after they teach Jesus's words and say, that's too weak. We can't. It doesn't apply anymore. His words are too weak.
I do have a bunch of people flagging my live right now because apparently you can't say this. So I'm gonna drop this topic. Let me drop you down real quick because I don't know if it's me or you. It's one of us. We're gonna find out when I drop you down if I get bombed.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Guess we gotta be a little bit nicer. Yeah, this might. Hey, look, I decided to do a Friday live. I don't. Hey, Santos.
So what's your explanation for like how Christ was a liberal?
Hey, it's good to talk to you, man. Whatever happened to entering a conversation by saying, "Hey"?
I don't know, just like.
Yeah, how you doing, man? It's been a couple days since we talked. How's life?
I'm fine. But
anything new?
No, but like
No.
I don't know. I just feel like people shouldn't.
Yeah.
People shouldn't.
No, we don't want to do that. We got to come in hot. Everybody's coming in hot today.
People shouldn't, I feel like, in my opinion, like politicize religious figures, though.
I'm not politicizing a religious figure. I'm not. I'm saying that he was clearly a liberal. That's an ideology. That's not politicizing anything.
Does sex work seem like something he would support?
We already did this. We already did this with you. I didn't even say that he supported it or didn't support it, but he stood up for the sex worker.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah. And I don't think that that is like a conservative view. Right? Because the conservative view at the time would have been to stone her, right? So he was kind of progressive. He was liberal. He definitely wasn't conservative. Nothing about Jesus was conservative.
When he asked why he ate with sex workers, he said it's not that healthy, that needs the doctor, it's the sick.
Yeah, that's fine. I know what he said. I'm telling you that in itself is a liberal position because the law at the time was to stone her, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and if he was conservative, he would have just went along with the law. That's what conservatism is, right? It's averse to change or innovation.
I don't see any conservatives stoning women.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. You're misunderstanding. Like, conservatism is an ideology. It means to stay the same, to refuse to change. Right? If you're a progressive or a liberal, you are for progress. You are for change. Jesus was clearly for change. He was consistently making changes and advocating for changes. He advocates that his followers change every day. He advocates that they get better every single day. His entire ideology is progressive. Yes or no? Right? See, the thing that's happening, the reason people are getting upset is because they identify as conservatives and they think conservative and Republican is the same thing. I'm just saying liberal. You could be a Republican and be progressive. You could do it, but you'd have to advocate for things differently. There's different ways to be progressive, right? Like, you could be staunch. You could be staunchly like, I believe that life starts at birth, at conception, excuse me. And then you could also say, and I respect that others shouldn't be punished against the law because of my beliefs. You could hold your views and still be progressive, much like Jesus did. He didn't say to the sex worker, he didn't say, hey, everybody, go be a sex worker. He didn't even share his opinion. He just said, hey, we all have sin. If you don't have sin, throw the first stone. And everybody left. That's the idea of that's the progressive ideology we're looking for. We're looking for people who stop yelling because somebody's different and stop trying to advocate that people not be allowed to be different than them and just do their business and be kind to everybody. That's a very Jesus thing, right?
So how is that a liberal thing then?
Well, liberal or progressive, same thing. Liberal would be like that you'd apply things liberally, like it's not so stringent. You accept behavior that's outside of maybe your own ideologies. That's liberalism.
Well, I mean, being kind isn't a really liberal value. I mean,
but clearly I'm not just talking about being kind, Santos. I think the thing is I actually think you agree with me on this, but I think you don't want to say it. I'm making an argument that you couldn't even there's no way to poke a hole in it. Not because I'm brilliant, but just because that's the argument. He clearly was a liberal.
Well, his teachings focus more on spiritual moral values rather than political ideologies.
Right, and that's why I say, if you're a conservative, and you're trying to demand that your values be pressed into law, then you're not acting like Jesus, right? You're involving yourself. You're putting your beliefs into politics. It's the opposite of what Jesus did.
So, do you think he would vote Democrat then?
You know what? To be honest, I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't. Maybe he wouldn't vote. I don't know. I guess if he was here, he would probably just like make things better. If Jesus is who you guys think he is. But yeah, I think overall, if you look at the policies that are pushed, when you're looking at the border, when you look at the way we treat people, the amount of people we lock up, the way that we treat the homeless, the way that we treat people with addiction, yeah, I think Jesus would be a liberal. 100%. I think he would vote Democrat, and then I think he would probably criticize Joe Biden for not doing enough to help people who need money. Like he would probably be like with AOC over there. He'd be like, "Hey, you're not doing enough to help people. We have people in this country like who can't even go see a doctor. We have people all over the streets. We have like people can't afford groceries. People's houses are falling apart. Meanwhile, there's all these rich people making all the money. We know how Jesus felt about rich people. And we definitely know how Jesus felt about rich people who were making money off the backs of poor people."
What did he say?
About which part?
About rich
I just said a
people.
lot. Yeah, he said it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than a rich person to get into the kingdom of God.
Well, back in the day, the word poor didn't mean like financially poor. It meant someone that had a poor mind, a poor body.
No.
Yes, it did.
Nope. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong.
the
He
wor-
was definitely no. You're wrong about this. You're dead wrong about this. He definitely was talking about wealth. There's not a historian. There's not a serious historian that would tell you that. That is something that's been spun and used through mistranslation so that you can now say like it's okay to be rich. But you're lying about that. It's also why when he went into the church and found out they were making money, he flipped over all the tables. Jesus despised people who made money on the backs of the poor. And he spent most of his time trying to better those that were poor and needy. You're silly if you think that that's about their spirit.
It's because they were buying and selling into a religious place. That's why.
Exactly. Yeah. In a church, they were exchanging money, right? They were money exchangers.
You don't see anyone exchanging money in churches today, though.
What's that?
You don't see anyone exchanging money into churches today, though.
Sure you do.
Like what?
Is a donation not an exchange?
No.
Well, what are they donating for?
They're just donating money to help people. They're not donating. They're
To
not
help
giving
who?
money.
To help who?
Probably poor people.
Oh, bad news, dog. You got to look at these churches. Mostly it goes to like the leadership.
What leadership?
The leadership of the church. You ever heard of Joel Osteen? You want me to look up his net worth?
No.
No, you don't. This isn't going super well for you, is it, Santos?
Santos,
this isn't going super well.
Can you give me a verse where he says that the Romans should hold?
No, I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in that.
Why not? That's a socialist value, though.
Because you haven't acknowledged that literally everything I've said is true. You just keep bouncing to the next subject because I don't think you actually are articulate and you're well spoken, but you're really difficult to have a conversation with because every time I say something, you just kick the can down the road. And so I honestly wonder what your intentions are. It comes off as really phony to me. You're smart enough to have a conversation, and yet you refuse to have one.
All right, well, I'll PayPal you $100 if you could give me a verse where he says that the Romans should hold the property and value of Judea.
That says what?
That
says what?
That the Romans should hold the property and value, should control the means of productions of Judea. Because
That's not... No, now you're talking about socialism. Socialism and liberal are different.
Yeah, but you literally just said AOC is a socialist.
No, I didn't say AOC is a socialist. I said he would be over there. I said he would be over with AOC advocating that we take care of the needy. I didn't say he would be a socialist. I said he would be with AOC advocating that Joe Biden is not doing enough. He would be on the... And what I was trying to say is he's on the... I'm not even defending AOC because she's not advocating enough. But what I was saying is he would be left of Joe Biden advocating that we do more. He would be very far left. He would probably be more principled than AOC or Rashida Tlaib, like any of the squad. He would be more principled than them probably. He would be not an anarchist, but he would be a thorn in the side of the left. He really would, because he would force Democrat politicians to do the things that we want them to do. You know, like we don't like all the dumb spending that they do. We don't like all the red tape. We don't like the hearings that they waste time on. We want them to help people who need help. We want them to do stuff that's in the best interest of our country. The difference is, like, we have to capitulate. We get stuck with Joe Biden. We're like, all right, fine, we got Joe Biden. I guess it's better than Donald Trump, but can he do more? And Jesus would be on the left. Like, he would not be satisfied. He wouldn't.
Well,
He's too principled. He was too principled for that.
He also wouldn't support gay marriage, considering he only talked about marriage in a heterosexual context.
You don't know that. I think
I do know that.
I would say, given his propensity to not care about the law and care more about people's hearts, I think he wouldn't be involved in that. Not at all.
What do you mean?
I don't think he would be involved in like forcing like his views of marriage into the law. I don't think he's never there's never been any part of him in the New Testament that would show that he would like force his views into law.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
My point.
So I actually think I think it's most likely he would support it, given that like he was kind and supportive as far as the law goes to other people who he probably taught against, right? Like taught against their actions. I think Jesus allows people to be who they are or who they want to be, and he cares more about their heart. So no, I don't think he would have been like anti-gay marriage.
Well, when he was talking about sexual morality, he was talking about homosexuality, bestiality, and so.
I understand that, but again, when push came to shove, and he had the opportunity to either support the law or support the sinner, he supported the sinner, and he didn't believe that there should be a law like that. So it doesn't really matter what his personal views are. He shows that he doesn't. It's not about his personal views, right?
So
he will put human value above the law. He will put people's happiness above the law, and then he will try and help them like believe what he believes. Like he'll try and draw them in and teach them about his dad or whatever. Whether you believe in the Trinity or you don't, but he certainly had his views, but he didn't seem to try and legislate his views.
So then he's not liberal, then he's independent. Or
no, that is liberal. You're mixing up liberal and Democrat. He's liberal. He's a progressive. It seems like every caller today can't figure out that there's something different between Democrat and liberal. You could be a liberal and not be a Democrat. You could do it. You could figure it out. It would be hard to vote, but you could do it. I think there's a lot of Democrats that I wouldn't really consider that liberal or progressive.
Yeah, someone.
Stay with me. Nope, not the comments. Stay with me, Santos. This is why I said I think you're a little disingenuous, because you don't respond to anything I say. Every time I talk, you just say something new.
So how is he liberal, though?
How many times do I have to explain this?
Like, I feel like you're just saying that to just like get under people's skin. It's like I feel like
okay, well, because it got under your skin doesn't mean. And of course I'm doing everything I write up there is so that somebody will call in and have a conversation with me. But basically,
hold on.
I'm going to answer your question. If you are willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions that are different than you, by definition, you're liberal.
So then why isn't Muhammad up there?
Well, I'm not that well versed on Muhammad, so sorry.
What would you say he is?
I don't know. I just said I'm not that. I would not even have an opinion on that. I've not read the Quran.
What do you think about the marriage he had with Aisha?
I just said I don't know anything about him. Like, I'm not going to talk about Islam. I'm not going to talk about Muhammad. I don't know much about it. I don't speak about things I don't know about. But did you see how you just again didn't answer my question and moved to the next thing?
What was the
Santos,
question?
be honest. I need you to be honest with me. Is your goal when you go into these lives just to like cause chaos?
No.
Then why don't you answer any questions?
What are the questions?
Why don't you respond to anything I say? Why do you move questions? See, and again, you just asked another question. Why don't you Why don't you answer questions or respond to things that people say?
Throw a question.
No. Why don't you respond to the things that I say?
I will just
like. Do you have people in your life that you can talk to? Like, is this how you talk to people in real life?
Just throw
like
shit
everything
at me.
they say, you just change the subject or ask them another question.
Throw shit at me.
No, I'm asking you a question. Did you hear the question I just asked you?
No, I don't. I don't talk.
Okay,
to people
now
like
let me
this.
try again. Is this how you respond in real life? Like when people ask you a question, do you just respond with an answer that has nothing to do with it? Or if they say something, do you just move to the next topic and not respond to what they say?
No.
Okay, so could you try that here?
Sure.
Okay, so liberal is saying that you can respect or accept behaviors that are different than your own, correct? We'd agree that's the definition of liberal?
Sure, but a liberal isn't
Okay,
like a
so
leftist.
so then would Jesus fit that definition?
Sure, but a liberal isn't really like, I feel like you're mixing liberal and leftist together though.
No, I'm actually reading the definition of liberal, and the word liberal is what's up there. So I'm using the word that I used there, and I'm reading the exact definition. So again, would you agree that Jesus fits that definition?
When it comes to like freedom and like
No,
acceptance,
Jesus. You can accept opinions or behaviors that are different than your own. You're open to new ideas.
sure, but that doesn't
Okay,
really mean.
great. So then what's the argument? If you agree with me that Jesus fits that definition, then what is your argument?
My point is that liberal, leftist, and Democrat, they don't go hand
I
in
didn't
hand.
say liberal, leftist, and Democrat are the same thing. We
that's
just
what you're
agreed.
insinuating.
Jesus is a liberal, right?
Somewhat, I would say that.
Okay, there we go. We agree.
So, but you
Is there
have to
something else you
understand-
want to talk about now?
So how are Republicans anti-freedom?
They vote for things that are anti-freedom. They vote for people who are anti-freedom. That's why the second part is they just don't know it. I do believe that Republicans like freedom. I believe that they think they like freedom. But I believe that they don't understand that oftentimes they are, most of the time, they're voting for things that take away freedom. Not necessarily just their freedom, but freedom in general.
Like what?
Well, like if you vote for Donald Trump, you're actually voting for somebody who's running on fascism. Fascism by nature is anti-freedom.
Do you know what fascism is?
I do know what fascism is. Do you know what fascism is?
Suppression of opposition.
No.
That's in the definition.
What's the whole definition, my friend? Do you want? Oh, you're gonna look it up. No? Coming back, or what's going on? Are you back? You're muted.
It's basically something that puts race or nationality above the individual. And
So it's a political
suppression of
philosophy that exalts nation and race above the individual, stands for centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of opposition, right?
opposition. Yeah, I feel like that's
Okay, so
very,
so Donald Trump is running on literally that platform.
I would say that there are many like leftists as well.
That's fine, but Donald Trump is, so we're talking about Republicans, not leftists. Donald Trump is running on that platform, which you just agreed with. So if people support Donald Trump, then we agree again. We've now agreed that Jesus is a liberal and that Republicans support or don't like freedom. They just don't know it. So that's two. So let's go. Do you want to go to the toxic masculinity now that it's 2 for 2?
No, but my point is that don't you think?
No, my point. My point is Republicans are anti-freedom. They just don't know it. That's my point.
But my point though is that don't you? Think,
I don't care about whataboutism. If you're going to talk about
not
Democrats
whataboutism.
right now, I really don't care. Because I think this is what you're going to try. This is what you try and do. You try and obfuscate and move around it. But you've already. Oh, he left. Yeah. Okay. So he agreed with both of them. 2 for 2. There we go. I thought we were gonna get 3 for 3 there. Let's go with Nays. Box is full. I'll try and be a little quicker with the box now. Sorry about that. Nays, welcome.
Yo, what's up?
Hey.
So I don't know anything about the number 1 and number 3, but toxic masculinity, I would ask, like, what's your definition of that?
Toxic masculinity is any form of masculinity that becomes toxic. So anything that either societally or like internally becomes toxic to you, I think that would be toxic masculinity.
So is there anything you would consider toxic?
Yeah, I think that if you have an ideology that like let's say you need a spouse, that spouse shouldn't be that spouse can't work, that you need to be the protector, and that you like can't have emotions. I think all of those would be examples of toxic masculinity.
So you think men being protectors is toxic?
No. No, that's
I
not what I
thought you
think.
just I thought
No,
you
what
just
I
said
said, if
that.
that's your ideology, let me explain why it's toxic. Because if you think that if your ideology is that men, their purpose is to be a protector and a provider. Let's say that you have a good job. You're a crane operator. That's what my brother does. He makes decent money, really good money actually. He's a crane operator. And let's just say one day there's an accident at work, and it was his fault, and he breaks his femur, and now he can't work, and he can't support his family anymore. So he goes home to his wife, and his wife has to work now. Well, if he believed, like internally, that the man's role was to provide and protect, he no longer can fulfill that role, right? So if he's in his let's see, he's got to be, what is he, in his early 40s. He's lived 40 years that way, and if he lost that ability, he would feel probably really depressed. He wouldn't feel like a man, because his idea of what a man is that you provide and you protect, and he can't do that anymore. So it becomes toxic. I believe it's okay to I believe it's okay to be protective. I also think it's okay to be a provider. It's when it becomes an ideology and you demonize others for not holding that same ideology that it becomes toxic.
Okay, so you're saying like if you basically like say that's the only thing men are like used for.
Yeah, but even then, like, I don't know, how old are you? Are you in like 20s or early 20s? Sounds like.
Yeah, I'm 21.
Okay, 21. So if you hold this view that you have to be the provider and you have to be the protector, you have you've now limited the people that you can actually like go out and date. Right? I don't know if you're married. Are you married?
No, I have a girl though.
You have a girl. Okay, yeah. So it severely limits the people that you can date. And for what reason? Like, what if you met somebody that was great, that made a ton of money, and she was like, look, I make great money. I work 4 hours a day, and I think it would be cool if like I just worked those 4 hours a day and then we just hung out the rest of the day. We could go on vacations. And your ideology, like, you would be too fragile probably to accept that type of relationship, which is a great fucking relationship. Can you imagine, dude, if you didn't have to work and you could be happy? Oh, you know what I mean?
I mean, I would.
And you're just there
I
with your
would-
girl, going on vacations, start a family. You're there with your kids every day for
I mean,
4 hours
yeah,
a day.
but-
Your wife goes to work, then she comes back, and you have the kids together. Like, it's a pretty good life.
So, I mean, I wouldn't want my wife to work necessarily.
Why? What if she only had to work 4 hours a day and you didn't
And
have to work?
I do nothing.
No, you can do whatever. You could get swole. You could be her eye candy. If you had kids, you could take care of the kids for those hours.
That sounds like the man's role to do that. It doesn't sound like I would ever let a woman like
See-
work and provide for me.
Yeah, so
Like,
that's
you know?
when it becomes toxic, because you said you would not allow a woman to work and provide for you. That's the part. That's when it's toxic. See?
Like I understand like if I'm working and she's working and you know we make things work, but if she's the
what
only
if
one
you don't
working,
need to work? What if you don't need to work? What if your job pays you $60,000 a year and her job pays her $400,000?
and I'm pretty sure usually the women they look for men that are better than them. They
Wait,
look
hold
for
on.
more
Answer. No,
superior men.
hey, Nace, you can't be like the last guy, okay? You gotta talk to me. When I say things, you have to respond to the shit that I say.
Okay, say that again then.
Okay. So yeah, you're right, Jen. I don't view the roles in the home to be work, because I think work is bullshit and what you do at home is more important. But when I say work, I mean go to a job. But what I'm saying is, sorry, I got distracted by Jen, because I love Jen and I don't want her to be mad at me because she terrifies me. I'm saying that this idea that you have, where you say you would not allow your girl, or you wouldn't let her work, like that's the part that's toxic, right?
Okay,
And
okay.
it wouldn't hurt you.
Okay. Like let me rephrase that then. If she
Okay.
wanted to work, I would let her work. But if she would want,
Whoa. Let
What?
her work? Why are you in charge?
I mean, because I'm the man.
Yeah.
And we both kind of,
So you think men are in charge of women?
I would say men lead women.
Okay, so this is toxic masculinity. That's what this is. What you're doing right now is toxic masculinity. And I can tell you this, like, Nace, with all due respect, the reason you feel this way is because you're insecure, and you don't think, like, it would tear you apart if your girlfriend, I think, was more successful than you. You can't handle being in a relationship with somebody who's better than something at you, unless those things happen to be like being a mom or cooking or cleaning or being kind. Like this is insecurity, and it's toxic. This is toxic masculinity.
Okay, but usually women, they kind of
No, see,
like,
again, you got to respond to the shit I say.
you didn't
Respond
ask
to
a
what
question.
respond to what I said about you. We're not talking you're again, now you're going to push off all responsibility onto women. I'm talking about you and your insecurity. You
What's
can't
my- what am I
you
insecure
can't
about?
handle you couldn't handle being with somebody more successful than you.
That's your question.
Yes. Well, that's
That's
my
not a
statement.
question.
Now I want you to respond to that.
Respond to if it would have no, I could not, no, a girl that, no, not a girl, no, it has
See,
to be
that-
it has
yeah,
to be a brother.
So that's toxic masculinity, because you can't you can't be in a relationship where a woman is more successful than you.
So you would let a woman pay your bills?
100%.
You would. So wait, okay, let me ask you this then. So whose job do you think it is to, like, so you would let a man cook and clean and do all of these things, these things that have been feminized for like ages, and you
Sure.
would let a
I
woman
like
go
cooking.
to work?
I think it's fun.
No, but you would clean and you would cook, and then you would go to, like, you would let a woman go to work and bring home, like,
If that was our agreement, if we had the agreement that I cleaned and cooked and she went to work and made a bunch of fucking money, yeah. Or even if she just made some money, yeah. I'm totally comfortable with that, with whatever role I need to take in a relationship. If I need to be the breadwinner, fine. If I don't need to be the breadwinner, fine. If I want to raise the kids, fine. While she goes to work, fine. It literally does not matter to me. I would take either role, and that's because I'm secure enough to know that, like, it's okay. Like, I don't have to fit a certain criteria.
okay,
Don't.
but
And then I can, and
understand.
then the amount of people I'm able to date is unlimited. I'm a chameleon. I can take on whatever role I need to take on.
Okay, but you understand that women are, like, biologically made to, like, nurture, so I don't understand how you would be nurturing children at home when, like, she's at
What do you mean
work. Like,
nurture?
it
What do you
doesn't
mean
make
nurturing?
sense.
I have a daughter. I nurture my daughter. What are you talking about?
So your woman doesn't nurture your daughter? It's just
I
you?
didn't know. I said I nurture. First of all, do you think only one person in the relationship can be nurturing?
No, but it's usually the woman who
Well,
takes,
that's
like,
because
who-
usually and historically, people had shitty relationships. It's why your mom probably secretly despises your dad. You know what I mean? Like, she was held down her whole life, and not in the way she wanted to be. Maybe in the way she wanted to be. I don't know. I don't want to judge on that.
So I
But
mean,
like,
who's-
these gender roles that you're talking about are so stupid, especially in today's age. Like, there are so many smart, educated women who have taken it upon themselves to make something out of themselves professionally, and some women really like that, and some don't, and the same with men. And so if you can enter a relationship and just be whatever you need to be in that relationship, that shows, like, so much security. The insecurity is coming from you, where you're like, I just can't. I can't be with somebody that's more successful than me.
okay, but you do understand that women, like, like I would say majority of the time look for a man that's more superior than her. She looks
No.
for a man that makes
First
more
of all,
money than her.
everybody. First of all, if you are a man or a woman, you should look for a relationship where you feel like the person you're in a relationship with is superior to you.
What?
At least in some ways. You should definitely look at your partner as somebody like, oh man, like, some attributes like, that's admirable. I could be a little more like that. Yeah, like, I think that's great. I think that shows the strength and the security of women to be comfortable being in a relationship where they view their partner as somebody that has admirable traits that maybe they don't live up to. I think that's great, and I think men should be a little more like that. Women women should hold men to a high standard, and men should hold women to a high standard. And that standard should be that, like, we don't have to conform. We should look for the best in each other and make that work. That's how relationships work.
Right, but you understand that men are a lot different than women. So
I am a man,
okay, you
and I'm
keep interrupting
clearly a
me.
lot. I am a man,
Okay,
and I'm
you're
clearly a
interrupting
lot
me now.
different than you.
Okay, but you're interrupting me now.
I am
Like,
interrupting
I was-
you. Yeah.
So let me make my point.
Go
I was
ahead.
saying, like, men, like, a man would easily take let's just say a woman, a fast food worker, And a high status woman would not take a man that's a fast food worker.
Hold
It
on.
doesn't, it's not like that. A man would easily take a hot 20-year-old fast food worker. Rather, a woman who has high status, like let's just say she's established or whatever, she's not going to take a 20-year-old man that's a fast, it doesn't work like that.
Women, if you were making good money and you fell in love with somebody that was a fast food worker, would that bother you? Hands up in the chat. Thumbs up if it would not bother you. Thumbs down if it would bother you. Let's see what the women in the chat say here. Since I don't think we should necessarily speak for them, but let's just ask them. Let's take a poll. Oh, goddamn, that's a lot of thumbs up.
I don't see a
All
single.
thumbs up.
I don't see. I see like
Thumbs
3
up.
people doing thumbs up. Bro,
Thumbs
I
up,
see
thumbs
3,
up, thumbs
I
up.
see,
It's literally all thumbs up. Look how many thumbs up are here. Look at this.
I see a couple of
Somebody
thumbs
just said,
up.
"I'm an engineer. I married a farmhand." That was it. That was yeah. Oh no. My husband wasn't working when we got together. There's another one. My husband made $8 an hour when we met. I make more than my husband. My partner was unemployed when we met.
Right.
I'll take
so if
5
you're-
fast
if
food
you're-
workers. They can
so,
cook.
Okay, so if
I,
you're
I don't care if I make the money. I've been the main
Okay, so
breadwinner
if
our
you're
entire
basing-
marriage.
if you're basing
See,
your
do you see
argument-
do you see how many people? Do you see how many women here are saying like they don't
you're-
care?
if you're
And you're
basing
not
your
listening to
evidence
them.
on
You still
women-
think you have
if you're
women giving
basing
you
your
their
women
opinion,
on
and
evidence
you're not.
in your
Hold on.
life-
Are you interrupting me now? You have women giving you their opinion, and you're telling them that they're wrong. That's
if you're
crazy.
okay, but these are minority women here. Where it's like if you're basing your evidence on a live that you hosted with only 1,000 people in here, that's your evidence.
Only 1,000. That's a pretty good number.
Yes,
1,000's
only
pretty good. Hey,
1,000.
1,000's pretty good. Nays. This is probably this is a good audience for you. This is an opportunity for you to make some points and win some people over. It's a good
Yeah, but
audience
it's only 1,000 people.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's true. That is true. And your poll is based on your head. So
Okay,
I'm gonna
no,
trust.
no,
I'm gonna
my
trust
poll is-
this. I'm gonna trust this better. But yeah, dude. Like,
Of course.
if you were a fast food worker, and you met this woman and you really liked her, and you guys didn't really talk about work because you were a little embarrassed because you're like, man, I can't support her. I can't support in this economy. You can't support another person on the wages you make at a fast food restaurant, right? And then you find out she owns her own home. And then you keep dating. You go out on dates and you're like, hey, let's just hang out. And she's like, hey, no, like I've got an event tonight. Let's go to this event. You go to the event with her. The food's free. Eventually she's like, oh, we're going on a vacation. Do you want to come? You're like, yeah, we'll go on a vacation. I mean, she's paying for all this, but not throwing it in your face. And then she's like, hey, things are going really well. I think I love you. Maybe you move out of your mom's house and come live in my condo. And you're like, yeah, I'll live in that
fantasy
condo.
world
What
do you
would be
live in?
wrong? What would be wrong with all of that?
In what fantasy world do you live in? In what world does that happen? What dream,
Listen,
imaginary world
listen,
do you
dog,
live in?
listen,
Because
dog,
you live in
listen,
your own head.
listen, dude,
You literally live in your
this-
own head. This doesn't
dude,
happen.
Hey, Nace, there's literally people all up and down here saying it's happened.
Yeah,
I was-
1,000, bro.
hey,
1,000 people is nothing.
Hey, I was married, and for like 4.5 years of my marriage, my wife was the breadwinner. And I was the breadwinner most of the time. And the reason I stopped working is because she was getting paid more than I was. Her business was doing very well. It was making more than mine was. And we had a daughter. And I said, you know what, this is stupid for me to go to work all day and you to go to work all day and pay for a nanny. So I'm going to stay home and I'm going to hang out with my daughter. And I have a great relationship with my daughter. It was great.
And
There's
you
nothing
still
wrong
have
with
your,
that. There's nothing
and you
wrong
still
with
have
that.
your wife.
What's that?
You're still like happily.
No, we're not
married to
together,
your
but
wife?
we are great friends.
What
She's
happened?
awesome. She's wonderful. That's none of your fucking business.
Right, you know what happened.
No,
You became a
you're
YouTube
you're
yeah.
assuming what happened. What happened is I was born and raised in a cult. And when you're born and raised in a cult and you get married while you're still part of that cult, and then you leave the cult and you become different people, then things change. It was very
cult?
amicable. I see her every day when I see my daughter, and we are great friends. It's a very good relationship. So I don't give a fuck what you think.
But you're not
trying to
married.
now apply that on me. And here's
No,
the
no,
problem.
but you're-
Here's the
but
here's
you're
the
not
thing, dude.
married.
What do you do for work? Where's all the money you make?
Okay, see how you're just like completely pushing us. You're pushing.
You're
aside
talking
what I
about
said.
my fucking life, and you don't know a goddamn thing about it. So shut the fuck up about my
Bro,
life, and we can talk about
you
this.
sit at home
you don't know,
doing
you don't know
lives, and
anything
your
about it.
wife friend zoned you. You're a
That's
bitch.
not what happened.
And then you go to the movies to
There we
watch
go.
Margaret Robbie. Like, bro, you're
Yeah,
a
dude,
bitch.
I do. Yeah, I do. She's hot.
You're a fucking feminine man. You're
Yeah,
a bitch.
feminist man. Feminist
You
man.
go, you literally go
Feminist
to the
man.
movies and you
Yeah.
see, you went to see,
I'm a
you
beta
made a
cuck.
video about seeing Margaret
Hold on.
Robbie.
Hold
You're
on. I
a
need to be.
feminine
Hold on. I need to be.
girl.
Hold on. I got to
You're
drink my.
feminine.
I know. I need to drink
You're
my.
fucking feminine.
I know. I need to
Why
drink
do
my
you go
soy
to the
milk.
movies to see
I need
another
to drink
woman?
I need to drink my soy
And then
milk.
your wife
Hold on.
broke up with you because
I'm
you sit
parched.
here and do lives, bro.
I'm parched. I'm very parched.
My nigga, you literally, bro, you sit
fucking
here,
idiot.
bro. Shut up,
You can't
bitch.
say the N word, you loser. There it is. There it is. That's what they wait for. They wait to find something in your life that they would be insecure about, and then they attack you on it. But it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not insecure about any of that. I don't care what anybody thinks about that. My ex is great. She's a wonderful person. We're great friends to this day. We raise our daughter, and our daughter's awesome, and it's fine. Like, it really wasn't even, I'll be vulnerable about that. It really wasn't that sad of a day when we decided not to be married anymore. We just both had that understanding that we were just really good friends. That's great. It's great. I'm doing well. Everybody's doing well. She's doing well. My daughter's doing well. Like, the insecurity on some of these people. Let's go. I think Jay was here the longest. That's my name too. What's up, Jay?
What's going on, man?
Hey.
I don't know what that personal for. That was too much. That's
It's all good. What's up?
so. I want to debate that Jesus was a liberal. Now, are you talking about liberal ideology is what like liberalism is today and the things they support, or just against the system, more freedom type liberal?
Yeah, I'd say he's a liberal in that, like, I don't think he would be advocating for policies just based on his beliefs. Like, he was more of a live and let live kind of guy.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't think he was liberal because he was also conservative in his views, because he did say, do not forsake the law. He kept traditions of the law as well.
Yeah, but he changed the law, right? Like, you can keep the law and you can progress. Like, the New Testament obviously is the new law, right? He got rid of the old law. So some of the stuff from the Old Testament, like eating pork or how many steps you can take on the Sabbath, like some of those silly like little rules, he got rid of that, right?
Again, that can be up for debate. Depends on what you believe.
That's true.
Because he said, I came to fulfill the law, not change it. So that's a religious debate. So
sure, but then anytime he was presented with an opportunity to side with the law or side with like showing compassion, he always chose compassion. Right? He definitely wasn't like, if he thought a law was unjust, even if it wasn't unjust to him, he spoke out when the laws were unjust to others. I think that's very liberal. Conservatism would be like, the law is the law and we can't change it. It's got to stay where it's at.
Now, are you talking about laws of man or laws of God? Because he did not change those.
No, I'm talking about laws of man.
I ain't gonna say he changed it, but
no, I'm saying he didn't. No, I'm not saying that he changed the laws. I'm saying when he thought a law was unjust, he stood up against the law.
Right. Well, I mean, even as a conservative, I may feel certain laws are unjust, but doesn't make me liberal because I don't feel the punishment should go that far to what the law may state. For example, smoking marijuana. I don't think it should be an arresting offense. I think it should be legal to do everywhere, but in some states it's still illegal.
Yeah, that's liberal.
I don't agree people should go to jail for it, though.
So, but that's a liberal viewpoint. So even if you identify as a conservative or a Republican, however you identify, that opinion is liberal. Because you're willing to so being liberal just means you're willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions that are different from yours, right? So if you're liberal, you're not gonna advocate for policies based on just your own personal beliefs. You're gonna advocate for policies that accept beliefs outside of your own and allow other people to have freedom, even if they don't have the same beliefs as you.
Fair statement.
So,
but like I said, when it comes
I'm not saying Jesus would like necessarily be a Democrat, but I don't think Jesus would be anywhere near the Republican Party. I think that he would be nowhere near conservatism. He would not be.
I think he'd be like he wasn't a. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go. You go.
I think Jesus would be the same as he was back then. He's like he said, he stayed away from government. He didn't interfere with it. Did not basically he put God above government, and that's all he followed. And if it went against the government, he kind of did his own thing anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah, but what he stood up for largely was the government. When he did stand up, it was for the government oppressing people that were different than him, that either maybe had different views than him. He stood up for people who didn't view things like him. So you're right, he probably wouldn't have been a politician, but when he was speaking up, I think that most of the time he spoke up, he'd be. You think he would be pissed off that somebody kneeled for the flag?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, no, because that would be the flag. Like worshiping the flag would be a false idol. Like he would not be like, yeah, get off that knee. You have to respect the flag. There's no way Jesus would have told Colin Kaepernick to get off a knee. There's no way.
Well, he also did say, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, unto God the things that are God.
Yeah, that just means pay your taxes. So he probably wouldn't like Donald Trump either. Probably wouldn't like Hunter Biden.
I think it also meant, following the laws of government.
Yeah, but that wasn't a government law, though, right? That was an opinion that people didn't like what Colin Kaepernick was saying, and so they said he had to stand up, right? There was no law broken there. I don't think he would have been. He wouldn't have been with conservatives on virtually anything, any of these social pushes by conservatives in the last 7 or 8 years. He would not have been on their side. I don't think he would be attacking trans kids. I don't think he would be in school saying like you can't even acknowledge that trans people exist. I don't think he'd be doing that. I don't think he would have opposed.
Absolutely, I think he would take a stand against that because
why?
Because even God says homosexuality is an abomination.
Well, being trans is not being homosexual, right?
Yeah, but he also said, there in the Bible, if you hear him talk about it, he always says man or woman. You can't just change your gender.
So is it right or wrong, according to the Bible, to be a sex worker?
To be a sex worker?
Yeah. This isn't a trick question.
I mean, if you think about it, it goes against the law,
right? The Bible would say like that's a sin, right?
Sure.
Okay, but when Jesus was confronted with a sex worker who was about to be stoned according to the law, what did he do?
Well, he think he spared her life. Did he tell her to go and sin no more?
Exactly. So he stood in the way of the people who held his view. He stood in the way of them forcing their views on somebody else. Right?
Right, but didn't he also say,
so why
go
wouldn't
and sin
he?
no
Why
more?
where is like a scenario where you think he would choose to not let people be who they were and let the law force it on them? He showed very clearly that he would not support the law forcing people to do things, even if he disagreed with that sin, right?
Sure.
So that's why I'm saying I don't think he would have opposed gay marriage.
Well, he did oppose it. I mean, if you believe in the Trinity, right?
No. He opposed gay marriage?
Absolutely. He opposed homosexuality.
No. Gay marriage is different than homosexuality. Again, I think this is where I don't know, maybe I'm not explaining this clearly enough. What I'm saying is what Jesus taught about like what is a sin is not necessarily what he did when it came time to stand up for people. He didn't judge people based on their sin. He allowed people to make their own choices, and he believed they had the freedom to do that, even if he didn't agree with those choices. So even if Jesus, and you could get into that, like even if Jesus was against homosexuality, fine. I still don't think there's any evidence that he would have stood up with the law and said like, you can't be married if you're gay. I just don't see any evidence that would have happened, because there's so many other times that people sinned and he didn't advocate for those people to go to jail.
Well, you have to look at it too. I mean, if you're going to talk about it in that sense, I agree with you. But at this other side of the sense,
so that would
marriage
make him
to
liberal,
God is
right?
completely different. Well, no, not necessarily, because the marriage to God is completely different than the marriage of what law says and man says.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with like making gay marriage legal.
Because Jesus wouldn't accept a man and man or woman and woman together altogether. He wouldn't accept
What
that.
do you mean by accept them? You don't think he would be willing to be in their presence?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he will not sit there and say that he agrees or accepts their lifestyle when he knows that it's wrong.
No, he you know what he probably wouldn't do? He probably wouldn't say anything. He wouldn't.
I disagree.
No, because he did this. He did this all the time. He told people not to judge. He told you only one person can judge, right?
And see, that comes down to.
He said so because he said that. I don't think he would vocally judge somebody. I don't think he would do that.
Well, when people talk about judgment, that's a total different debate. That's talking about salvation, whether somebody's going to heaven or hell or not, not their character and what they're doing.
Jesus saying, he who is without sin cast the first stone. He would not side with people who are even advocating against gay marriage. He would say to you, if you're against it, he who is without sin cast the first stone. That's what if you were fighting against this, he would turn to you. He would admonish you. He wouldn't turn to the person who he thought was the sinner. All right. I don't know what happened there. There we go. Now we're going to go Trashy Boy X. It's a fun name. Hey, what's up?
Hi, Jay.
Hi.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Earlier you mentioned that if anybody wanted to talk about the sequencing of the Y genome, the chromosome
Yes, please.
stuff.
Yes.
I did a little bit of research on it, and it's super, super interesting. I'm just going to take a couple seconds of your guys'
Please.
time. So the sequencing of this genome has been like insanely hard to crack. They've been going at it for years and years. It's the smallest, but it's one of the most complex genomes that humans have. And a really good analogy I saw for it was trying to read a book, but every single line of the book is chopped into strips. And, you know, if each one was unique, it would be easy to place which ones go in front of the others. But with the Y genome, over half of these strips are repetitive, identical. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to place which ones go where. So now
Because
that we have,
it's kind of like you're placing a puzzle together a little bit. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
So okay.
Yeah. It's like putting a puzzle together, but like half of the pieces are all blank.
Okay. Yeah,
But
I'm reading
now
this.
that we have, now that we have this like sequence all figured out, there's going to be a lot of scientific discoveries in male healthcare, like people who have XY chromosomes. There's going to be gaps bridged between like overall life expectancy, like male-specific cancers, cardiovascular disease, stuff like that. And I just think that it's like super, super big, especially in the science community, because this is going to save a lot of lives, and this is going to help us figure out, like, you know, why men have shorter lifespans than women, why people with XY chromosomes are more prone to cardiovascular disease and stuff like that.
That's crazy. So it's 30 million base pairs to the human reference genome. That's crazy.
I know, absolutely
look,
insane.
For everybody who's confused by this, just go to CNN. I think it was under World News, and it's under Space and Science. Scientists fully sequence human Y chromosome for the first time. That's what we're talking about. I'll post it right now on the Discord.
That's the article I referenced. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that's crazy.
I know, super, super cool stuff. But that's all I had to say.
Thank
I just
you.
wanted to, yeah, of course. I really enjoy your stuff, and I love hearing all of these people spout their nonsense. It's quite an echo chamber.
It's fun. It's fun. Okay. Thank you for explaining that. Well, are you in the Discord?
I'm not. I would love to be, though.
All right. Shoot me a DM. I'll send you the link when I'm done.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. We'll see it.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Comfortski Dave. Welcome. If you want that link, it's in my Discord.
Hello.
Hey, thank you for the subscription, love only. Hi.
You mentioned about Jesus was a liberal.
Yep.
So I wanna point out something first.
Okay.
Jesus was not a liberal nor conservative. First of all, a conservative is someone that believes in his own beliefs and then protect his country. That's what conservative is. It's not about Jesus never fought for like protecting country or whatever.
That's not what conservative means.
Then what is it?
It's that you're averse to change or innovation and holding traditional values. So you don't like change or innovation, and you just hold to like whatever your current values are. Like politically, that would mean like you favor maybe free enterprise, private ownership, and socially traditional ideas. Jesus didn't fit any of that.
So are you saying that Jesus like changed traditional values because he said he came to fulfill the Old Testament, not to remove it? Because Jesus
I'm saying from the start of the Old Testament to the end of the New Testament, the views seem to be evolving. They seem to become more inclusive, and they seem to become less and less detailed. So yeah, like I think that by the end of the New Testament, it was pretty clear that Jesus was liberal.
How was it liberal then?
How is
Can
it
you give me an example of how you give me an example of how he was a liberal?
Well, it's getting a little repetitive at this point, but essentially the time when they wanted to stone the sex worker, and he got down and he said, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." He stepped in where the law of the land was to stone her. And he said, no, like, we're not going to do this. He didn't step in and say like, hey, I'm also a sex worker, or I love sex workers. He just stood in for somebody. He stood in for somebody else. So he was willing. Hold on. So he was willing to respect and accept behavior from opinions that were different than his.
Okay, let me ask you something then.
Sure.
When he said, he who has a sin cast it on, what did he say to the woman later?
Go and sin no more.
He said, go and sin no more.
Right.
So
but
what are you saying?
Yeah. So yeah, him saying go and sin no more is not a law. It is a suggestion. There's no follow up there. He didn't follow up to make sure she didn't sin anymore. He shared his views with her, but he stood up for her despite the fact that she didn't support his views. He was okay with the idea that she should be allowed to live her life according to her views, and that the government shouldn't step in. So the end of that was not a law. The end of that was not a command. It was something he said to her, and she was gone. And that was it. That was the whole story.
No, because if someone saves you for something, from example, wouldn't you have a change in that? Like maybe you are about to die, someone saved you, and you are talking about Mary Magdalene, and Mary Magdalene was one of the like people that went to the tomb of Jesus. That was even the people that spread the word of Jesus. She changed exactly. That's what I'm talking about. She didn't continue and sinning and going deeper into what she was doing.
Yeah, that's a personal,
so you can't change that.
Hold on. That's a personal conversion, not a law. Not a law that you forced. She was not forced to change, right? She changed on her own.
Because she was saved.
Yes. So
that's it.
So again, Jesus does not force change. Jesus does not say we have to keep things as they are. It's not what he said. He accepts he accepted people who had different beliefs than him, and he stood up for those people when the law came after them. That's a very liberal thing to do.
Does it mean that, for example, you are saying something, does it mean that if she continues sinning, and eventually she, maybe something happens, she dies, then she will go to heaven? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not talking about heaven. I'm talking about
no. I'm just putting it like this.
I know, but hold on.
If someone told you something,
hold on. You have to let me respond.
All right.
Okay. I need this to be very, very clear, so you can stay with me. Okay. I am not talking about your religion. I am not talking about religion at all. I'm not talking about beliefs.
You mentioned Jesus, and
let me finish. Again, let me finish. What I'm saying is that Jesus would not stand for the law persecuting people, even when those people thought differently than him. That's the only thing I'm saying.
So he gave his suggestion. Doesn't mean that if conservative believes something that he's wrong on that.
Stop. We're talking about the law. We are talking about the law. I'm not talking about what you think about the afterlife. We're talking about when
I'm not talking about afterlife, bro.
We're talking about when Jesus said, he who is without sin cast the first stone. The law was to stone her. Even though the law was to stone her, he said, no, that's not conservative. That's liberal. If he was conservative, he would have said, okay, do it.
Let me tell you,
No, do you
Jesus was
understand that?
neither
No, I
a
don't want another
conservative
story.
or
No, no,
liberal.
no. Do you understand
Well,
that if he was conservative, he would have said, do it?
no, because
Okay, well
we
then I don't think you
conservative never
understand this
believe in
concept. Then
anything.
I don't think you understand
We
the concept.
conservative
I don't
don't
think you understand the
persecute anyone
concept
or
here.
stone anyone to death.
Listen,
You are just making things up.
I don't think you understand the concept here. I think that you're being offended because I'm talking about your religion
I'm not
instead
offended.
of
I'm saying
so
quietly.
let me
We
try
don't
one.
persecute.
So let me try one more time. What do
All
you
right.
think I am saying Jesus did?
Jesus said, he is without sin, cast the stone, right?
What,
Then
no,
I
what,
say
no, no,
something.
what, no, 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 no,
He
no.
still
What,
said,
no,
go and
shush.
sin no more.
No, you're,
All right.
again, the question I asked is, what do you think what am I saying Jesus did?
You say Jesus is a liberal.
No,
That's
what
you
did I
said.
say he did in this instance?
He stopped them from stoning her, right?
Correct.
Isn't that what?
And was it
Uh-huh.
yes, correct. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying. So because
Okay.
he stopped that, and because she, according to him, was sinning, Jesus is showing that even though she didn't believe what he believed, he was willing to stand up for her.
So did he say that I stand up for her because what she did was right?
No, and I'm not saying that either. That's not what liberalism
but
is. That's not what liberalism
no.
is. I'm not making a judgment on what she did. I'm telling you a story that happened in the Bible that shows that Jesus was a liberal.
He wasn't a liberal because the liberal
God.
that you are portraying is not a liberal, like this modern liberal. If liberal was in
I'm
the
using
days
the
of Jesus, it
actual
would not be like
definition of
that.
liberal. The actual definition of liberal is willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own. Jesus,
But he never accepted. He gave opinion.
the story I just told you fits that perfectly. How are you arguing?
No, he said that if he was willing to accept it, he never accepted it.
Oh,
He
yes.
just gave opinion and allowed him to go. No
I said,
conservative is persecuting
listen,
anybody,
I don't
and
know.
you were
I
wrong.
don't listen. I said respect
How did
or
he respect it? All right.
because
Show me how he respected.
because he allowed her to do her thing, and he stood up against
No.
the law when the law was coming after her.
He stood up against the law, but never supported her sin.
I haven't
That's
fucking
fact.
said that, you potato. Stop adding
No,
things that I
don't
didn't
call me
say.
names. I'm
I
not
will
calling
call
you names.
I don't care. I've said this like 40 times.
Oh.
I don't know how you're still missing this.
You said he respected it, and which you are wrong on that. He never respected. Respecting something means accepting it. If he accepted it, he would have
what's
said,
the
"Okay,
definition
you
of
are you
what's the
are
definition
someone."
of respect?
Respect it means like allowing the person. You don't have to say anything about the person, what the person is doing. You just have to let the person do whatever he wants. Okay, let me tell you.
Correct.
He knew that what she did
Correct.
was wrong, right? And he later suggested that go and sin no more. If he respected it, he wouldn't have like supported her, or like, he wouldn't have like said
No.
those things because he never allowed it. That's not his rule. That's not commandment. You are making things up. If Jesus support prostitutes, that said, okay, go on, and continue sinning.
Sure.
He never said that.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I'm just telling you, like,
Okay,
don't say that.
Have a good
Jesus
day.
respect.
Have a good day. It was excellent
All right, go
talking
on,
to
bye.
you. Thank you. This is the problem with Christians. They're so mad that the only thing they're mad about is that like I'm a liberal. I'm just saying that Jesus is liberal, and they're so Republican and so conservative that it makes them mad. Like we can't even have a conversation. Jay, I don't know what happened there. Did you get bumped?
What's going on, man? I got the banana there for a minute.
Oh, there you go. Welcome back.
But I'm going to say this and I'll jump out because I don't want to catch another banana and then really take it away. I can see where you're coming from. I think a lot of it is interpretation of what we think Jesus would do. The fact is we don't really know. It's easy for me to say as a conservative Christian that, oh, well, he would take a stand for God and say it's wrong. I can see where you're coming from that one story.
Do you know about the Southern strategy?
No.
So the Republican studies, they write specifically like white evangelicals, and that's when the Republicans became Christian and conservative. And I think that, like, as a former conservative and a former Christian, one of the hardest things to do was to look internally and like recognize programming. What I see as a problem with modern Christianity in the United States is that they have tied themselves to conservatism, which is really just means they've tied themselves to the Republican Party. And what I see as a former Christian and as a former Republican is that I don't think either party would align with Jesus. I really don't. But I do think that Republicans have turned their Christianity militant. And I don't think there's any evidence that Jesus would be militant. I don't think Jesus would demand that the law force people to hold or withhold or hold up. That's what I'm trying to say. Christian values. There's no evidence that he would have done that. But conservative Christians are largely now Republicans, and they mix the two ideologies together. I can tell you, I left my church first, and it was a very, very like serious church. It's a high demand religion. Everybody lives their life by that. I didn't have that many people upset with me. People were disappointed. But when I didn't vote for Donald Trump, I got disowned. Like, I had friends and family literally disown me. And they say the same thing as you. Like, they saw me as the enemy, not when I left the church, but when I left the Republican Party. And Republicans have hijacked Christians and made them believe that because they say things like the war on Christmas and like the Christian religion is under attack, because they say things like that, Christians flock to them. But think about what they're saying to you. Think about what they're actually saying to you. All they're really saying is less and less people want to be Christian, and we're gonna stand in the way of that. We have to make sure that even when we're the minority, that we keep power. That's why it's turning into a fascist movement, because Christians are now turning into the minority, and conservative Christians are certainly a minority, right? They don't have a majority voice anymore. They don't have. It's not over 50% of the country is conservative Christians or even Christians, right? And so as they lose their voice, as they lose their power, they're becoming more and more militant. They're demanding that their government step in and mandate things that historically they didn't have to mandate because more of the population was Christian. So just people voted this way and it was easier. But what you're seeing now is Christians are no longer the minority, and they're demanding that their way be the law. That's fascism. And I don't think Jesus was ever like that. I don't think Jesus would have like tried to stage a coup. I don't think Jesus would be running on fascism. I don't think Jesus would support fascism. But conservatives, people who call themselves conservatives, are supporting fascism. And that fits the definition because they want things to stay the same. They don't like that things have changed. They don't like that the world has moved past them. And instead of like being good people and accepting people who are different than them and giving their churches a good name, they're becoming militant. And that's why you're seeing a precipitous decline now. Like, churches were slowly declining, and now you're seeing a precipitous decline. And it's because of the bigotry. They're standing with bigotry. They're not willing to say, hey, like, it's okay, people have whatever beliefs they want, you're all welcome at our church. They're saying, no, these beliefs are not okay. There's like actual Trump churches now. There's Christian churches that have been completely hijacked by MAGA. And they preach MAGA. They call Democrats like myself a demon. I get called a demon all the time. I had family members literally call me like a demon, a Satan worshiper, right? Just because I didn't vote for Donald Trump.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I didn't vote for him either, and I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat either. I'm a let everybody do what they want to do. It's
You're
okay.
liberal.
It's no, because I don't agree with all the, like, for example, I lean conservative. I don't agree with all the, maybe I am liberal in a stance, but I don't support what liberals their agenda is. Let's put it that way. I don't agree with everything, but it's okay to agree to disagree and move on and let people do what they want to do.
That's what I'm saying. You're doing the same thing that maybe everybody else did. You're confusing liberals and Democrats. The Democrats set an agenda. The Democrats legislate things. The Democrats are the people that maybe you don't agree with policies with, but your ideology is liberal. If that's what you really believe. If you really believe people should be able to kind of do their own thing and have their own beliefs and not have the government stand in the way, by definition, you're liberal. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're a Democrat. And I think that's where the confusion is happening over and over and over and over again, because people have that so ingrained in their head that if you're a liberal, you're a Democrat. If you're conservative, you're a Republican. But your
Right.
beliefs are pretty liberal.
See, I'm a libertarian, where a lot of people now, like I saw in the comments, libertarians are just Trump supporters or Republicans. I'm like, not all of us. I mean,
No, but I was a libertarian too for a little bit, and I would say the same thing. It's like 85% of them are just like Republicans who want to be more militant, and then there's like that 15% that's like actually libertarians, that they're not the ones calling for the strong border. They're not the ones that are calling for the anti-LGBTQ stuff. They're not the people they're advocating for what right wingers are. But that's a very small minority of the libertarians.
right, it's like I tell people all the time, I don't have to agree with something. Doesn't mean I have a right to stop it either. Like,
Right.
just because I don't agree with it, as long as it don't affect me personally, I don't care what you do.
It's liberal. See, you're a liberal. That doesn't mean you have to vote for Democrats all the time, but you are a liberal. And I think you would agree that isn't that kind of who Jesus was?
I don't. In my opinion, I'm gonna tread on thin ice so I don't get the banana here.
Well, let me ask you maybe a different question. Do you believe that Jesus felt like we all had free will or free agency?
Oh, we always have free will.
Okay, so that by nature is liberal. You have
in a non-political sense, I agree with you. If we're talking about the political side,
Jesus doesn't preach that you have agency, but he will force you to live his laws, right?
yeah.
Yeah, like you can lie, you can worship false idols, like you can commit adultery, you can do all of that. You have the agency to do that. He's given by nature. He's saying like you have, if you believe that he's the one that gave the agency, he gave you the ability to do all of that, and he has never shown any evidence that he's going to step in and force you to like do something different. Now, he might have offed some people, but he never like stopped somebody in the middle of like their act and like made their body do the opposite, right? He doesn't believe in that. He believes that all of us should be able to do what we want. And then my second question is, do you believe that Jesus, no matter what choices you make, do you believe that he loves you no matter what? Well, it's a tough one. Be careful.
Again, that comes down to interpretation of the Bible.
I mean, I think he was pretty clear. Love everyone, right? Love one another as I've loved you. I think he was pretty clear on that.
We can get to the religious debate, and I'm not saying these are I'm playing devil's advocate here, so to speak. Okay, I'm not saying these are my beliefs. I'm just saying that. What about while he was here? I believe that was taught. Once he was crucified on the cross, did not God turned his back on the world and gave it over to the devil? How can God love what is not his? God can't look at sin.
Sure, but that wouldn't mean though that we should force our beliefs on others, right?
Forcing it, no.
There you go.
Absolutely not.
And if you're using the law to make people keep your beliefs, is that not force?
Trick question, so to speak.
It's not a trick. It's only a trick question because you've likely supported legislation that was similar to that. It's not actually a trick question.
I thought you were talking about like laws of God. I thought you were talking about the law of the Bible.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, I'm talking about the laws of the land.
I don't support anything that's going to discriminate or prevent anybody from doing anything. Even if I don't agree with it, I'm an American first. Do what's best for all Americans, not just me. So even if I don't agree with something that people want to do, I'm not going to vote to suppress them in doing what they want to do. I don't have to agree with it, like I've said, but it's not my job to stop it. I'm not God. I
agree. So you wouldn't support like any sort of abortion legislation then, right?
To me, that comes down to a tricky situation for me.
Well, you just said you wouldn't force any of your beliefs, right?
But at the same time, there's a difference for me. Okay, the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill."
Sure.
I feel abortion should be allowed in certain circumstances. Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
I don't think it should be used as a get out of my consequences situation.
Yeah, but how would you? But then you're getting into if that's your belief, then who's going to determine why somebody made that choice?
That's above my pay grade.
Thank you, Priscilla. Welcome everybody from Priscilla's Live. Thank you so much. You know what I mean?
That's above my pay grade on that one. I don't know. I don't have all those answers. I don't have those answers.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you kind of left. You're kind of left with this idea, right? You either support your views being implemented, or you support a system that can't really implement your views anyways, right? So
Right.
wouldn't it be better to just say, you know what? There's no good way to do this, and it's not my life. It's not like I can't force my views on others, then I'm just going to stay out of it. Right?
I guess morality.
Sure. But again, you don't want to legislate morality, is what you said earlier.
Oh, I think you have to legislate it to a certain point. I just saying I don't want all, just because, like, for example, we'll go back to the marriage thing that we discussed.
Yeah.
I may not agree with it, but I'm not going to vote to stop it.
Yeah.
I think that's a different spectrum of morality than it is to, I don't want to have this child anymore, so I'm just going to go have this done.
Right. I think almost everybody agrees with that, right? That like, and I don't think most women are just like wake up one day when they're pregnant, like, I don't want this kid anymore. Like, I think that's pretty disrespectful to even say. Like, I know some people who've had abortions. I've never met anybody who that was their reason. But again, even if, let's just, in a hypothetical world where that person exists, and again, I don't know that person exists, and if they do, it's in small numbers. Even in that hypothetical world, like, do you now want the government to be in charge of determining whether or not that person's reason is good enough?
I don't think it should come down to the government.
There we go. So
So to
yeah,
speak.
so then you would. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought that's what you were saying. So what I'm saying is, like, your morals are different there. Like, it may be harder for you to accept an abortion than it is to accept gay marriage, because like for you that's a greater sin. But again, it did boil down to, at the end, like, you believe in agency and you don't believe it's the government's role to like make those kind of determinations. So even with your own morals in place, which is great, like I think it's fine to have strong morals. I think it's fine to have like morals that are closely aligned with the Bible. But what you're saying I really like is that you're saying that even when those morals are deeply held by me, there's still a line of where I'm willing to push my morals on others. And I think that's like, even if you vote Republican, even if you vote Libertarian, it doesn't matter. I respect that your ideology says I'm not going to vote to harm people just because they feel differently than me. I think that's commendable, honestly.
Well, I wish more Americans were that way, because now it doesn't matter. Like you said, you got people that call you a demon just because you look at things differently than what. Somewhere along the line, somebody's got to make a change. I don't care if you're right wing, left wing, blue wing, green wing. It don't matter to me. Why can't Americans just agree and disagree on things and just be like, hey, you know what? Because there once was a time in this country where certain politicians tried to make America great for everybody, not just one person.
Yeah.
Those politicians don't exist anymore.
No. And it's up to us. Like, it really is. And this is where I think, Jay, like, you can make a difference. It's so hard to even get to this point in the conversation. We're so divided that you and I have probably talked for maybe like 20 or 30 minutes. And it took that entire time to get us to agree that we actually view things the same way. But we're programmed to just think that we disagree with somebody because they have different views, or programmed to think that like that person is the enemy. That's the part we have to get rid of. We can't blame the politicians when we ourselves are very slow to recognize that a lot of us share the same values and we're just being played. I get a little bit tired of people blaming politicians and then they themselves like can't see past it. And I think you've done a good job of getting past that and honestly seeing it. You are obviously already were thinking that way because you refuse to be part of the two-party system, which again, commendable. But I think that's the hard part. Is I actually think everybody I've talked to today about Jesus was a liberal actually agrees with me. But they can't allow themselves to agree with me because they know where I stand politically and they know where I stand on my beliefs. So even though it's a pretty sensible thing and there's really no good argument against it, people don't want to agree with me just because agreement feels like losing. And that's the system we're in now, where if you agree with somebody on the other side, you've lost.
Exactly. Well, a lot of people that I've noticed come in here and Jesus was a liberal. And I was the same way at first because I'm sitting thinking, okay, well, are you talking about liberal as in what liberals are known for today? Or are we talking about political liberalism? And hearing you explain it, instead of just going off the handle like I have seen so many people come in here and do and just scream. First of all, I don't know why people think screaming is going to get a point across. But if they would listen to actually what you have to say about why you feel the way you feel, even if we don't agree on every detail of it,
Yeah.
I can see why you would say what you're saying.
Yeah, like if we all took this approach, do you know how easy it would be for us to actually accomplish the things that we accomplished? It would be so easy for us to have healthcare. It would be so easy for us to fix like our immigration system. It would be so easy for us to fix all of our problems, right? Because if we all started from the baseline of let's make sure we're not legislating just our beliefs, and let's make sure that people who are marginalized or people who need to be taken care of are taken care of. If we did that and we left our belief systems at the door and our party politics at the door, we would be better at this. But it does, like, we can't hold our politicians accountable. We can't ask our politicians to be better when every time they do this divisive stuff, it's like red meat. That's why Donald Trump has massive crowds. He has massive crowds because he gets people fired up. He talks about all the shit that they hate. He talks about the shit that's bothering them, and then he finds somebody to blame it on, and everybody gets fired up. He's really, and I only use him not because it's like right versus left, but because he's the best ever. Nobody's ever done it better than him in this country. Like, nobody's drawn crowds like that. Nobody's mobilized a community like that. But it is divisive, and he makes us think that like it's us or them. But the reality is, if we could cut through that bullshit, almost all of us agree on things. We all agree that we should have health care and it should be affordable. We all agree that we shouldn't have a homeless problem. We all agree that like our immigration should be sensible. We all agree that no kids should ever have to not eat. We all agree that somebody should be able to work for 40 hours a week and support a family. We all agree on that. But what happens is we find ourselves in arguments with people on the other side, and all we're looking to do is tear apart the argument so that we win.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, if people would realize, I don't care what side a politician's on, anything they sell you is going to look good on paper. Every speech they give, it's going to sound good. But in reality, name a politician lately that has done anything for every American since they got sworn into office. There's not many you can name.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Somebody asked me, I saw in the comments, ask what my opinion of toxic masculinity is. First of all, I need to ask what his definition of what he's talking about.
So basically for me, when I say that it hurts men, I think that if you have this idea of like what makes a man, and that ideology is so ingrained in you that any deviation from that makes you feel less than, I think it's toxic. I think that historically, like even just the idea that like men can't cry, right? That's a big one. Men can't cry, and it's forced men to like shove their feelings down. They don't have real relationships with their friends. They don't have any sort of depth, and a lot of times, like their only real relationship option is probably their spouse, and sometimes they're not vulnerable enough to even have that relationship with their spouse. So it does hurt men. It keeps them in a place where they can't progress, they can't learn new things, they can't even appreciate the world around them, because they have this idea that they have to protect, they have to provide. That's the most important thing. The woman has to raise kids. And there's just too many variables now, especially now. Like, it's pretty hard to have one income and support a family in a lot of places. I saw somebody call into David Pakman's show a couple weeks ago. It was this girl, and she said both her and her boyfriend or fiance make over 6 figures, and wherever they lived, they couldn't afford a house. That's crazy. Right?
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in today's society, I can see where people, like Nazy earlier, I can see where he comes from with the men being the protector, the provider. That worked prior to World War I, when a man could go to work, make a livable income. The woman did not have to. But after World War I, when the factories realized, we can get just as much work as of a man and a woman, and we can pay two for less than we're paying one, we get more workers, less pay. It shifted everything. Nowadays, you have to have a double income.
But there's another part of that I think a lot of times this masculinity and where it's toxic is that, like, yes, that changed, and yes, they realized that women could work and they could get dual incomes, but that doesn't mean that the system we had prior to that was good, right? There are a lot of women who want to work. There are a lot of women who don't want their value to just be like a stay-at-home mom, and a birthing mechanism who cooks and cleans. Like, women didn't even have a choice at that time. So I think I think that, yes, I do agree. I think that you should be able to have a job, a full-time job that you can support your family with. But I don't think that that means that that it should just be the man, right? Like, and if you want to have two jobs and make double the income, I'm fine with that. And if you don't want kids, I'm fine with that too. And I think that, like, that's when masculinity becomes toxic, specifically to men. But then it creates an atmosphere that is toxic to women as well, and then they're the ones that are abused for that. And so I just think that men miss out on amazing women because they're insecure.
Oh, absolutely. And going back to what you're talking about, how men put everything on their shoulders, don't feel like they can cry. That is number one reason why majority of men commit suicide. Because they feel like they have to do it all. They were programmed that you can't open up, you can't talk to nobody, bottle it up, and eventually they end up doing what they do, and it's sad. So it's insane the amount of pressure men put on themselves based off old traditions.
And listen, Ivory, and to those who weren't here earlier, I say work for a reason. I don't believe what's done. I think what you do when you go to work is a necessary evil. I think what you do at home when you're parenting is not work. I think it's much more impactful than that. I think it's much more meaningful than that. I would say work is less than. I would say that what's done at the home with your children is more than work. That's why I don't say that it's work. I don't think it's equal. I think it's more important. I think if you have a child, the most important thing you can do is show that child love and prepare that child, because you chose to bring that child into the world. So that's why I don't compare the two. I don't say that like women stay home and men work as if to say like men are doing something harder. It is, sure, it's labor, but I don't compare the two things. I don't think they're comparable. So I just want to be clear that I'm not saying that like staying at home, but in fact, I worked and I also have been like the stay-at-home dad. The stay-at-home dad was way harder because it's mentally taxing. You have to be engaged. Like at work, I could check out for 45 minutes and look at my phone and nobody noticed. If I check out for 45 minutes with my daughter, like not happening. I can't check out for more than 5 minutes, right? So that's why I say it's different.
Yeah, the men that believe that women staying at home raising kids have it easy. I don't have kids, and I'm not even that ignorant.
Yeah, it's way like being a parent is so much harder. Being a parent for especially when your kids don't have naps anymore. Like at least when you have naps, like you get a little break. But it is mental warfare for however long you have that kid. They have short fuses and short memories, and you have a short fuse and a long memory. It's hard. It's really, really fucking hard.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I mean, I listened briefly to Nazy and his. I had to tune him out. That dude was. I was even like, can't do it. And that's why one of the first things I came into the live and said prior to this, before I got, and it was, hey man, I hate that he did that, because there's just certain things you don't attack. Because I've been married, got divorced. It ain't nobody's reason why I got divorced.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm open about it. She's on here sometimes. We're cool. It's fine. I don't think divorce is a bad thing. Honestly, I respect people who are willing to step away from a marriage because it's not working. I respect that.
Absolutely. I mean, there's reasons for divorce. But for him to make those low blows was just uncalled for, and I didn't appreciate it. But as far as like when he made the statement, I
appreciate you saying that. Honestly, thank you.
When he made the statement, "Let women work," like first of all, women are not property. Period. Point blank. Point to the truth. They are not property. They are human beings. And I know not everybody in here is a Christian, but I am. God made woman from a man's rib for a reason. That's so he didn't walk all over. He didn't leave her behind. She's supposed to be right there by his side. When you get married or in a relationship, you are a team. You are together. There's no greater or lower than. It doesn't matter if she's the breadwinner or he's the breadwinner. You become a team, a unit.
Yeah.
And you make it work the best way the two of you can. And the decisions of who stays at home, who goes to work, who does this, who does, that's privately between the man and the woman.
Sure. I appreciate it. My box is getting a little full. I gotta move on. But Jay, honestly, I really appreciate it. I thought it was a good discussion.
Sir.
And I hope you come back.
Will do. Y'all have a good one.
See ya. All right, let's go. Therapist Tracy. Hi. Welcome. Hope this isn't my therapist. Hi, Tracy. Tracy. I think maybe we don't have Tracy. Mister. You can come back up later if you want. Let's go. I got not. What in the world? Wait, how's Tracy still here? Did you guys hear that? Yeah, it'd be amazing if therapist came in. I haven't seen my therapist in a while. Might be time after today. Might be time. All right, Ninerman, you were there forever. I'm sorry. That took a long time. All right. High vibration. Nope. What's going on there? What is going on? Maybe my guests are broken. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. Hi. Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Holding up okay?
I'm doing good. I'm a little tired, but doing good.
There must be something. Yeah, you must be giving off, some kind of energy because 2 therapists showed up.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Am I giving off that? Am I having a breakdown? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it's funny because I'm actually not going to talk about basic mental health stuff. So really,
Okay.
Because I actually also have a background in, maybe you don't even want to go there, but after today, but
You're good.
I actually also have a background in theology.
No wonder you went into therapy.
Exactly.
Break them down and build them back up.
That's right. So this whole, there's been a lot of talk about this story, right? With the woman and, whoever has sinned, cast the first stone, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And really what we need to do is roll all the way back.
Let's go.
And think about how there's only rare instances in scripture, in the canon as a whole, where we see these glimpses of patriarchal law being called out into question. And those were, made it into the canon, I think. It was probably really hard for that stuff to even make it into the canon, because we have to consider who decided. It was a room full of men who decided what would be canonized and what would not.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
And so there are lots of small glimpses of Jesus really going against the status quo, especially when it came to women. And I really, truly believe he did that on purpose, because this woman who was about to be stoned found herself in that position because of patriarchal law. She would not have even been a prostitute, and I hate to say that, or a sex worker or whatever, because she would not have even ended up in that position if it weren't for patriarchal law, because women were seen as property.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Women were not allowed to make a way for themselves. Whatever happened to her, how she ended up without a husband, was because of patriarchal law. How she resorted to that kind of work in that time, and to be under judgment of these religious men, the Pharisees, was because of patriarchal law.
Yep.
And that is why he stood in between her and these men. He was trying to make a point, and we miss it every single time, and we get stuck on those last words he said to her, "Go and sin no more."
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And try to continue to condemn people. And what he was saying was, stop it. Stop
Knock
trying
that shit
to
off.
be everybody else's Holy Spirit. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
We all have free will. Right? That's why he sent her away and was like, go, whatever, do you. And if you choose to come back to me, great. But if you choose not to, that is your choice. He came to, I mean, when you get into the theology of it all and keep scripture in its proper context and stop putting, scripture as the end all be all, this black and white, all or nothing thinking, and stop worshiping scripture. That's some of the problem is we worship it and then we make it a weapon instead of putting it in its proper context.
Yeah.
Just because something happened in scripture doesn't mean that it should be condonable.
I agree.
Some of it is historical text, right? Yeah. Some of it is whatever. But it's just crazy to me how we weaponize scripture and take it out of context, don't keep it in its proper place. We use it to abuse people instead of, we all have free will. We need to stay out of other people. Mind our own damn business. Just mind your business.
Well, now you're just asking too much. Now you're asking way too much.
That's why I think. Yeah. Well, that's why I agree with you that I see Jesus as a complete liberal.
Yeah.
Because he was telling these Pharisees all the time, mind your business. Mind your business.
I'm with you.
Stop.
You're preaching. You're preaching today. Start a church, Hezi.
Right.
The Church of Hezi. I'll be a first member. Church of Hezi. Everybody that's in.
Oh, okay.
I'm in. Are you in our Discord?
No, I'm not.
Well, if you decide to be, we'll even start a Church of Hezi channel.
All right.
All right. Shoot me a DM.
I know, right?
Yeah. Shoot me that DM. I'll give you the link.
All right. That sounds good.
Thanks, Hezi.
But Jesus was liberal. He believed in free will.
Amen.
He was not, he was a gentleman.
That's right.
He was a gentleman.
That's right. He didn't
force anything on people.
That's right. You're the best.
So,
thank you.
He probably would have been a soy boy.
True. He would have been called a soy boy for sure.
He so would have. All right. Well,
thank you,
I'm going to let you go.
Okay. Shoot me that DM. People are clamoring for it. You got to give the people what they want.
All right.
All right. See you.
All right.
Bye. I'm seeing hell Hezi in the comments. That's beautiful. There you are, Tracy. Hopefully you got out of your car. I love soy boys too. Soy boys are beautiful. We're probably going to have to make a shirt out of that. Jesus was a soy boy. Oof. I would get banned so fast. Tracy, I still don't have you. Outside of Tracy, the box is, looks like the box is open for a minute. How about that? Our first opening. It's unusual. Palate cleanse therapy visit. I appreciated that. Let's go back. What do you got? I'm just going to look at the comments. You guys keep me entertained. Soy boys are beautiful. Breathe. Thank you, Daddy Lucy. It's important. Girlfriend update. I'm too worn out for that right now. Hydrate. Thank you. There was a complicated. We'll leave it at that. There was something came up with who I was going to see, and so it's just delayed a little bit. It's just delayed like a week or so. I can't really get into the details. Come on, potatoes, get in the bin. Let's have some mashed potatoes. Or what are you guys, mashed potatoes, or are you what's the baked potatoes? I have strong opinions on baked potatoes. I think baked potatoes are horrendous. They're so difficult to eat. I don't like how much effort I have to put into a baked potato. Well, if you're in the market, I'm shopping. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know what the going price is for me. I'm on eBay. You can bid for me on there. Mashed, right? It's got to be mashed. I don't know if I trust people who would choose baked potatoes. That's right. That's right. That's rude, Ivory. That's rude. Yeah, you're right. I don't want to take my time eating. I hate long dinners. I hate like a 7-course meal or 48-course meal or whatever the fuck that. I just want it like. Food for me is just some fuel. I just want to eat it and get out of there. So baked potatoes is a waste of time. What's up, Uncle Rusty Rants 2.0? Great name.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. I wasn't even going to chime in
Okay.
until you said it was difficult to eat a baked potato.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's a baked potato. It's not, it's not a rock.
I know, but listen, look, know your role, potato. Your role is to just be there and be accessible. Every other form of potato is so easy to eat. I can get a French fry, dip it in. I can get potato wedges, dip it in. A mashed potato is just a scoop. Throw a little gravy on it, some butter, whatever you put. I like to put a little garlic salt on mine with just like a little butter. But baked potato, first of all, you get it it's so fucking hot, and then you gotta cut it. Sometimes it's cut open for you, and I do appreciate that. But then you gotta open it up, and then you mash it, right? Don't you just mash it anyways? And then you just
okay. So I think this is a little personal for me because I don't eat potatoes anymore.
Well, how could you with all that effort?
Well, no carbs.
Okay.
But they're basically a bomb.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's if somebody said, "How do you want your potato?" Freaking baked, man, and then throw some sour cream, butter, and whatever else you got in the kitchen on there. It's a meal.
Yeah, just don't make me work for my food. It's same reason I don't like I like crab and I like lobster, but I don't have time for that. And then my hands will smell like crab and lobster forever. It's just it's a lot of effort for eating. I don't feel like I want to make that much effort to eat. I think that's the problem. I might just be lazy. Maybe that's what we're learning today. I
think that's really the only point I would disagree with you on is no, baked potatoes are awesome. Looking at your list up there, no, you're absolutely right on every single point.
Yeah, I'm not making. I do mash my own potatoes. I just don't want to do it with a fork. I want to be clear on that. Twice baked potato. Yeah, twice baked potatoes. Do all the work for me. I'll eat it. Terrific. They're wonderful. If you give me a baked potato that's ready, then I'm cool with it. But don't make me accessorize my potato. I don't want to accessorize my own potato. It's a nightmare.
I just wanted to also congratulate you on your patience.
Thank you.
With the level of knuckleheads you have to deal with. I was in a couple of lives last night, losing my mind.
Nighttime's a little more rough. Especially if you get past like my time. I'm on the West Coast. Anything past 9 o'clock, it gets a little wild.
Yeah, I'm on the West Coast too, and I was in. I happened to wake up about 1 a.m, popped into a couple of lives, and oh my God, the wanton ignorance of these people who still support Tangerine Tyrant. It's
the Tangerine Tyrant.
Yeah. It is beyond me.
Thanks, Mary.
I tried real hard to maintain composure. And one lady in one of these lives, she was trying really hard to be the voice of reason and explain, look, this particular supporter, she's never going to hear what we have to say. And I'm like, yeah, but we need to say it anyway. We need to keep hammering away, not necessarily with facts, but with logic, and ask the follow-up question. It's like, well, if you say this is true, then what about the next step, which is this?
That's a good point. It's easy for me to have patience some days. Some days are easier than others. But the thing about arguing with almost every single conservative is that it's really not that hard. The reason I do one-on-ones with conservatives is because if you get in a panel with conservatives, and this happens with liberals too, but if you stick them on a point and they don't answer for like 4 seconds, everybody else on the panel thinks it's their turn, and they're going to go back to a point that you made earlier or a word they think you said wrong, and you're never going to get anywhere. But if you can get a conservative one-on-one and they're willing to answer questions, they're going to be exposed very quickly, because there is no conservative ideology. There is no plan. There's nothing. It's just catchphrases. I've yet to meet a conservative that comes up and can like articulate their ideas and defend their ideas. Most of the time it boils down to, oh, well, agree to disagree. But rarely is there a coherent response.
The inability to stay on point is mind-boggling. It's the whataboutisms. It's like, well, wait, we're not talking about Biden. We're not talking about Democrats. Go to your conservative rooms if you want to do that.
Yeah,
we're talking about this, and you're not addressing it. You're not justifying why you believe. One of the points I kept bringing up, especially when people were saying, well, he hasn't been convicted yet. He hasn't been convicted yet. Yes, he has. He was convicted. He was convicted in a civil court for SA.
Correct.
And I don't know why more people don't hammer that point away. That he has now been called a rapist by a federal judge.
Yeah, it's a good point. Honest to God, like what sucks is they don't care. Because all they need is like that little bit of wiggle room where they can say, "Oh, well, he's not in jail." That's literally all they care about. And this is the problem with MAGA. This is why it won't go away, and this is why even if he's convicted, I think a lot of them are just going to stick with him because what's going to happen is they're going to blame the jury. They're going to say the jury was biased. They're going to say he didn't get to submit the information he could have. That the truth will come out later, and don't worry, he'll appeal it, and then he'll win on appeal. There's no amount of losing that this guy can ever do to get people to realize he's just a big fucking loser. And he's been a big fucking loser his entire life, but he just was handed a piggy bank that he could bail himself out.
I'm getting pinged. I have to bow out.
You're good.
Lovely
All right.
to talk to you.
All right, you too. That's the thing. Like Donald Trump's career from start to finish. I mean, he got kicked out of school. Then he had to go to boarding school. He didn't do well there. They don't seem to like him. Then he got into Wharton, but of course he got into Wharton. He had money. There's no evidence that he says he graduated top of his class, but then he said if Wharton released his transcripts that they would sue him. So I don't really know why if you're top of the class, you wouldn't want people to see your transcripts. That's kind of weird. Then he goes into business, and every business he starts falls apart. Every single one. Then he finally gets the opportunity to be president, which, look, he won that election against Hillary, but it almost immediately people realized he was a giant fraud and that he didn't know what he was doing. And that's why when it came up and he was running against Joe Biden, who's just a nothing burger, he got wiped by Joe Biden. This guy's an absolute loser. He's been a loser his whole life, and he's convinced these poor Republicans that he's a winner just because he spouts rhetoric, and they don't have to dig deep into anything. He just tells them, like, don't worry about it. Everything I say is right. I'm the arbiter of truth, and you just listen to me, and everything's gonna be. Yeah, let's forget his dad. I do think we should forget about his dad. Like his didn't release the taxes. Mr. Success didn't release his taxes. Did we lose our Republicans today? Sorry, I'm trying to fix my mic volume. It was sounding a little crackly to me. Box is empty again. Back to back. Box empty. Christian Worship Authority, police. That's true. We need AV or David. I need you guys to know that AV did message me after the other day, and he just said, I enjoyed it. Have me back on anytime. And I honestly was a little surprised by that. I was a little surprised. Have you heard about, oh, you're still here. Hey, Trashy Box. Have you heard about the Bunnell Elementary School situation? I'll look it up. Bunnell is Bunnell. It's my, let's see. Black elementary school students singled out for assemblies about improving low test scores. Principal and a teacher at Florida Elementary School have been placed on paid administrative leave after staff singled out black 4th and 5th graders and pulled them into assemblies about low test scores. Did they only bring in black students? I don't know. This doesn't sound good. I haven't heard this, so I've no, AV wasn't here today. He was here the other day. Said no malice was intended and the improvement effort was executed in a way that does not align with the values of the Flagler County schools. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. I guess that's what you're talking about. Yeah, that sounds bad. That sounds really, really bad. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Let's go back here. Let's see what Newsmax has to say today. Thank you for the gift, Vicky. Thank you very much. Only black kids pulled out and chastised. Affirmative action is done, not news. No racist and conservatives. I said, come out yet that Donald Trump's parents were actually brother and sister. That cannot be a real thing. Oh, Jesus. Kim. We're going to make French fries. That's right. I would be 100% on board with just banning baked potatoes. I don't normally want to tell people that they should live their life a certain way, but I don't think, I'll say it, like if you like baked potatoes, I question your morals. You might be a good person, but you're overcoming a lot if you like baked potatoes. Do you know the Trump book Conspiracy? I don't know if I've read that one. Let me look at it. It's called Conspiracy. Let's see. I don't think I've read that. RTP stands for Riding the Pine. The Plot to Destroy Trump. Who wrote this? Teddy Malik. Okay. Yeah, it means Riding the Pine. When I first started my TikTok, I was doing like sports betting picks. And so for a while, I was just a professional sports bettor. That's what I did. That was my day job. I spent 8 hours a day shopping lines. I don't, if any of you guys know what a value bettor is, that's what I was. So it was really time consuming, and it sucked. But eventually the sports books figure out who you are and then they shut you down. So that's what happened. But I was doing sports picks and Riding the Pine. Like, I didn't want them to be taken extremely seriously. Nobody is a good sports bettor. Nobody, unless you're using math. And you have to do math in real time. You have to play markets. That's what I did. But within a minute of you making that pick, that line's changed, and you're probably likely not going to get that line again. So anybody who's like paying for picks or following a sports bettor and they're doing anything but just like betting for fun, it's gross. And I started getting comments from people if my picks didn't hit, and they're like, "Man, I blew all my money. Now I can't pay rent." And I was like, "Nah, I don't really want to participate in this." So then I shut it down, and then I just rolled into a live one day. I didn't know TikTok Live even existed, and I just rolled into a live one day after I had scrolled through something my brother sent me, and then it was over. It happened to be politics, and I kept talking about it, and then started hosting my own lives, and here we are, this much later. It's hard to find good potato wedges. The problem with potato wedges is that nobody makes them fresh. They usually sit there. Thank you, Hells Bells. I appreciate that. And I'm happy to not be doing sports betting picks. It was sad. It's a very sad thing. Riding the pole. That's right, Tim. You interested? You interested, Timbo? I found one. He's talking. What am I? Oh, Platform Young Entrepreneurs is back. What a sweetheart. Thank you. Platform Young Entrepreneurs is not platforming young entrepreneurs, but he does have really bad views. I don't get politics. What's a liberal? We went over this, but basically just somebody who like doesn't want to force their views on other people. They're accepting of other people's views. Hi, Marilyn. Yeah, it got whinier. That's when a platform shows up. It gets a lot whinier. Hi, Marilyn.
Hey, so
Hi.
what's your opinion on fried pickles?
Oh, it's evolving. I'm not a pickle guy. Pickles on sandwiches only, or yeah, some sort of sandwich, a chicken sandwich. No, not a big fan of like fried anything really. Maybe wings.
Not even the fried dill pickle?
Are we supposed to be in uniform?
No, I'm just not a pick. Thank you guys for the gifts. No, not fried pickles. Hard pass on the fried pickle. I don't like food that shouldn't. I feel like a pickle needs to be cold and crisp, and then you fry it, and you're changing the temperature. Does it stay crispy? It seems like it would get mushy.
It stays crispy for about the first 5 minutes, but that's about how long it takes to eat them, especially if you have ranch beside them.
Okay, so it's a ranch. It's a dip in ranch. No, I don't think so. I think I'm out on fried pickles.
You lost me on that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can we still be
No,
friends?
seriously, I gotta go to class. I
right.
just walked in.
Thanks, Marilyn. We'll see you. Bye. All right, next up. Oh, good. What's up?
What's up? So why are Republicans the one that are anti-freedom if the liberals are the ones that don't want Republicans to mispronoun them or to call them a certain name or to abide by their delusions? Why are Republicans
Which one of those
anti-freedom?
things do you want me
As
to
far
address?
as I can tell,
Which one of those things do you want me
all
to
of them.
address?
They're all within the same sentence.
So, you think that Democrats, we don't like freedom because we think people should use the correct pronouns. Is that right?
Well, wouldn't that be taking away someone's freedom of speech if you are requiring somebody to use the right pronouns and
Sure.
feed into somebody's delusion that they don't believe in?
Sure. Where's it? I mean, I don't agree with obviously the rest of the dumb shit you said, but yeah, I don't think that you should be able to legislate speech, but you can legislate harassment. So if you're using that speech continuously,
Right. So
if
you're the
using,
anti-freedom.
hold on, yeah, no. So if you're using that speech to harass somebody, then yeah, I'm okay with that. Do you think
Wait,
you should?
did I
do you
say
think
harass
you
or did I just
No,
give
I-
mispronoun?
Well, see, the thing is we're not advocating. The left isn't advocating laws that if you misgender somebody, that you be arrested. The only
Oh, they
time these
absolutely would.
no, the only time these laws come into place
Oh, they
is when
absolutely would.
okay. Well, I was almost done talking. The only time these laws come into place is when you're talking about harassment.
Yeah, so of course you can't harass anybody. That's not what I said.
Okay,
Once again, I
so
said
where's the-
mispronoun
so where's
somebody.
the-
the left would
So
definitely
where's the
put into
law
place
that the left is?
the law
What
into
law
place.
are
Let
we?
me finish if you
what
want.
law?
You want to finish, but you don't want to.
Yeah, what
finish. You're
law?
not gonna cut me
What
off
law is
either,
being
brother.
proposed?
So,
What law is being proposed?
yeah, so like I said, if it was your choice, you would propose a law
No.
to arrest people that
No,
mispronoun other
I wouldn't.
people. Yes,
I would
you would
not.
because you're anti-freedom.
I'm literally telling you I wouldn't.
Republicans, the most freedom that
I'm
you
literally
can get
telling
within
you
a
I wouldn't.
society.
I'm literally telling you I
No,
wouldn't.
you would.
No, I wouldn't.
No, every liberal and you would.
Oh,
No, you
see,
would.
this
We
is
know
the
it.
thing. Like you don't see this. This is the thing. Like you're incapable of a conversation, and
You guys are so
you think
extreme.
I know.
You guys
I
are
know.
to the
But you just
next
asked me a
level of
question, and
extremism.
I said I wouldn't, and then you're like, yes, you
Yeah,
would.
no, I'm gonna cut you off just like you cut me off.
Nobody
so
gives a
that's how
shit.
that's how this live
Cool,
goes.
dude.
So,
Anything else you
You're
want to
just-
talk
you
about?
extremist
Do you want to talk
leftist.
about anything else?
sure, Jesus was a liberal. Tell
Yeah,
me how.
he was
Jesus
a
definitely
liberal.
didn't unalive any children.
That's not what liberal means.
Oh no, but that's liberals pro-choice, so they're unalive.
No,
children.
liberals don't
So, yeah,
have to. No,
therefore,
liberals
Jesus was
actually
not a liberal.
liberals don't have
Yeah,
to be.
liberals are
Oh, sure,
pro-choice.
sure, okay. Anything else you want to talk about?
Tell me why liberals aren't pro-choice.
No, I don't think all liberals are pro-choice, but they don't necessarily.
Majority.
No, not majority. I think that if you're talking about like, do they think the
Okay,
government?
now you're
should-
just lying through your teeth
Okay,
again.
do you want me to finish or no? What do you want to do here?
Yeah, because you're just lying through your teeth. I don't
Okay.
want to listen to something.
All right, well then
lie,
leave.
So.
Okay, see you later.
I will, but if you really think that
Hey,
pro-choice,
no, I thought you were. I
liberals-
thought you were leaving. I thought you were leaving. I
90%
thought you were leaving.
liberals are
Oh, I thought you were leaving,
pro-choice,
sweetheart.
so-
I thought you were leaving. Are you leaving or not?
Jesus would
Are you
never
leaving or
unalive
not? Are you leaving or not? There you go. You you dumb potato. What a great guy. What a really good guy. It's just a really good guy. W, welcome.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey.
So I was actually watching you earlier, and you know, when Jay was on, and he actually asked you your like view on toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like, I had to figure that out because you know I hear it a lot, but I agree. It is definitely ingrained in like men and not sharing like their feelings and stuff, and a lot of men are sad and stuff about that and depressed. But I mean, I think at that point it really just comes down to those people individually and like choosing this, work on themselves and not worry about other people.
Yeah, I think the problem that most people have with the idea of toxic masculinity is that they think that when you say toxic masculinity, you're saying H. You're up next, by the way. They're saying that masculinity is toxic. That's not what they're saying. It's like saying if there was toxic water, that's not saying all water is toxic, right?
Yeah.
Only the toxic water is. So toxic masculinity is not the idea that having masculine features or having masculine ideas or having like qualities that maybe are masculine. That doesn't mean that that's toxic. It's toxic masculinity is toxic. And I think that's what happens to these guys. They feel like they're under attack because they think for some reason masculinity is under attack. And the reason they're insecure about that is because that's all they care about is their masculinity. It's how they judge themselves. It's how they judge others. It's likely how their father judged them. And they think they just have to live on like that. And it sucks. It's a hard way to live. But instead of improving that, they're just like, this is the way it is. We got to be tough. We got to be men. We got to deal with it. All right. Have a shitty life.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, what shows like a man to be real tough is like him actually acknowledging his feelings, and then also, when it comes to your relationships, communicating the problems with your significant other.
Yeah.
Instead of just bottling it up. And then obviously, your comments crack me up. All the people in your feeds, just because of like
Got
the
some
nonsense.
Got some creative people.
I think the biggest thing that I have the most issue is, like, especially when it comes to politics, like Republican and Democratic, is that we only talk about the president. We never talk about, no one ever really talks about Congress. Like, everyone's like, oh, we got to vote in Trump or vote in Biden because they're going to fix America. It's like, it's not where it gets fixed.
No, never.
At all.
Never.
And in America, like I guarantee you, some of these people probably don't even know, like, the three branches of government.
Well, you can check my TikTok for that. We've definitely asked that question. It did not go answered.
Yeah. And your Jesus was a liberal. I'm not really religious because I view as religion as one of the things that they use to control the masses.
Yeah.
And the Bible was definitely misconstrued. If any of your followers, if you've ever heard of I'm currently reading, or I'm using audiobook, but listening to the Sacred Mushroom the Sacred Mushroom and the Cross.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah,
are you just starting it? That's a good one.
Yes, I am just starting it.
It's so good.
It's very hard for me to like get into it audio wise because I've never listened to an audiobook till now.
Yeah.
But I'm trying. Yeah, I'm very interested in the whole aspect of that. But I agree.
Thank you for the subscription, Kaylee, by the way.
I agree with all of it. Like, I think religion was definitely, twisted into a way to control people, which it was. And when people say liberal, like for me, liberal, like instantly meant bad. Like,
yeah.
Like all I think was like, now I don't want to be called a liberal just because of, not that I view them as bad, but because everyone else views them as bad. I was like, but I'm not conservative either. Like I lean more liberal. I would say I'm more liberal anyways, because, I believe in everyone does whatever they want, pro Second Amendment. I believe you should have your guns. I'm all over the place, and people can't have conversations about it without being hostile or wanting them to, they want you to, I'm jumbling all my words up because I feel like I have to get it out right away.
You're good, dude. You're good.
Just because I know there's probably more people that want to come here and talk, but I believe that it's, if people like, you and all these people that come on your life can have civil conversations, I don't know why it can't be like that across the board with everybody. Because all I see every day is just hate. Like, hate on all TikTok lives, whether it be about racism or the LGBTQ community. Like, bro, I just want y'all like to each other, and like the only way we can move on and have a nice world that we all want, we have to work together. And
just smoke a little bit and smile and get along with your neighbors. That's all we got to do.
And then
I need to appreciate that.
Or just ignore what everyone else is doing and worry about what's going on in your own life, because that's where like the biggest thing is. I always see people, griping about what they don't have, and then they just let it down. It's like, well, what are you doing about it? What are you doing to fix the issues? It's never like everyone wants to talk about, they want to point it out, but no one ever has a solution to fix our problems.
Well, welcome to being a liberal. Come join our Discord. You'll fit right in.
Is the Discord in your on your bio?
Yeah, it's in my bio. If it's in, I put up a link tree today. If that doesn't work, DM me. I'll send you the link. We'd love to have you.
Cool. Yeah, for sure.
All right, dude. Dude, you're awesome. I appreciate what you said. Thank
no
you.
problem, man.
All righty. We'll talk to you later. Bye. W with the W. That's a W for W. I love that. Shav, welcome. H was sitting here complaining that I wasn't going to let him up, and they couldn't wait 4 minutes for me to let him up. What's up, Shav? Hey. Oh, see ya.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. By the way, just real quick, the book is called The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, for those people who are asking in the comments. Go ahead, though. Sorry to cut you off there. Go ahead.
Oh, no problem. I don't think Republicans are anti-freedom. I'm not American for starters, but I don't think Republicans are anti-freedom. I think you have that twisted.
Sure. Why do you think that?
Because all we have to do is look at your policies, your policy platform, like the Democrat platform, assuming all Democrats are liberals.
What would be some examples
and your
that you could think of?
For example, the climate change thing, like that's the greatest anti-freedom thing we've ever seen.
Why is that anti-freedom? So I got an echo.
A simple example from my side.
I assume so, because I haven't had one from here. Do you want to mute and unmute? Yeah, try that. All right, let's try that. So you said you're talking about climate change. You think that the bills that the left has proposed on climate change are anti-freedom. Is that right?
Yeah.
Why do you think they're anti-freedom?
Because if we look at let's take the simplest examples like gas stoves. The Biden administration had some action of that. Was it the Biden administration or something to do with New York?
Well, so what we learned is that you're seeing there's, especially in small places, gas stoves emit fumes that are really dangerous, and so especially in places where you have small places and gas stoves, it's harmful to the citizenry.
No, like there's the effort right now is to have like all new buildings or something like that have the electric stoves as opposed to gas stoves.
Yeah, the reason behind, by the way, the bill was voted down. The bill was voted down. It didn't get pushed through, but the idea behind it was that having a gas stove is harmful to your health.
I don't think that was the case. It had
no. Well, then why do you think? Then why do you think they were banning? Then why do you think they were banning it?
Because of emissions, they're trying to like carbon. They consider that to be a significant part of.
Okay, yeah. So part of that, yeah. Part of it's also, that it's natural gas and the way that we get natural gas is harmful to the environment. Yeah, that's also part of it. So why is that anti-freedom?
But if you're a party of freedom, people should be allowed to. I'm just using this as a simple illustration. People should be allowed to choose that kind of thing.
Well, I would argue that if the air is not clean, and that maybe gas stoves are responsible for your asthma, you're not truly free, right? Because if you're not breathing clean air, and it's giving you health problems, then are you free?
For how long has the United States used gas stoves?
Yeah, and how long have people been getting asthma in those enclosed spaces? That's not a good argument. For a lot of times we thought cigarettes were healthy, and you probably would have been like, "Nah, we've been smoking cigarettes forever. We're fine."
But notice that they didn't coerce everyone to stop smoking. It's your choice at the end of the day.
Bad news. I don't know if you know about our smoking laws. We changed the smoking laws. We have an age limit. You can't smoke in public places. You can't smoke like inside restaurants, on planes, in airports. You can't smoke indoors. You can't go to sporting events. And you can't smoke. So yeah, no, they did do that. We did do that.
I can
Same with asbestos. If you want to talk about asbestos, we banned that. We banned certain types of chemicals being used on crops. We've banned certain things being put in food. Right? We've done this historically. When something is harming the people, it's our government's job to stop that.
Well, you see, for example, let's use the smoking example.
Okay.
Those policies before the climate change policy. Let me organize my argument as follows. Climate change first, number one, the policies that the government is led by the U.S. government, that the government globally is trying to push, the most coercive types of policies we've ever seen.
No, that is honestly not even
in my
remotely
opinion.
The most coercive laws we've ever seen. Essentially all we've really done is capped like carbon emissions. We've invested in clean energy. I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody in America can still drive a gas powered car. We still have coal power, right? Like, what are you talking about coercive? How are these the most coercive laws ever put in place?
Because unlike, for example, let's use the smoking example. It'd
be cool if you stuck with like one example.
But when you this is the thing. When you try to, we're going back to the stoves and whatever. When you try to go beyond that and even force consumer choices to align with a certain policy agenda that is not even robustly.
It's not a policy agenda. It's science.
Then that is.
This isn't a This isn't. This
Okay,
isn't a.
you see now.
It's not. It's not a policy agenda. It's literally all of
There's no
science.
consensus
All of
to that.
science. There's consensus that we absolutely have caused climate change. There's consensus. Nobody no serious scientist would disagree with that. Where you have maybe a little bit of disagreement is on how much we've impacted the climate, right? But nobody says we didn't
Exactly.
impact
So-
the climate. Nobody.
Well, I do. Let me be the first. Then, if you've never encountered this argument, but I think there's so many people who share these views. Yes, we could have impacted. We could have impacted.
It's not the first time I've encountered this argument. In
Like
fact, I hear it a lot,
50% of
and
it.
people and having a lot of people holding the view doesn't mean that their view is right. What do you want? You want us to just ignore? You want us to ignore science because a bunch of people like believe conspiracy theory? Pass.
The science is not religion. We don't have to agree on in science. I don't think there's any real science where people agree. No, the point is to
virtually.
treat
I
the
don't know
scientific
that
inquiries
there's
people
not a single
by
serious
definition.
there's not a single serious climate scientist on Earth who would say that we have not impacted and caused climate change where they disagree. Hold on, and here's what I want you to do, Shav. I'm going to say something here, and I need you to stop going back to your fucking talking points and respond to what I say, okay? Is that a good deal? Is that a fair deal? You'll respond to what I say and not just repeat. No, see, this is easy. Are you going to respond to what I say after this, or are you just going to change the subject?
Yes, I will.
You will, okay.
Yeah, probably. I'm not conscious of
Jesus
my
Christ.
previous attempts to derail you, but
Okay, so here's the thing. There's not a serious climate scientist on Earth that thinks that we...
Let's proceed.
I wasn't done yet there. They all agree that we have impacted the climate. The only disagreement is on how much we've impacted the climate. Is that right or wrong?
This debate on that as well. That people question that.
There's not, dude. So who's the client scientist? Who is the climate scientist? Jesus, I'm getting tired. Climate scientist who says, hold on, I didn't even finish the question, dude. You can't be talking yet. Which report would you point to that says that humans have had no impact on the climate?
I think we have a little bit of feedback, but that's
what is the so what study would you point to that proves that humans have had no impact on the climate?
I'm not in a place where I can pull up the information right now, but my opinions have been shaped by that.
I don't really care about your opinion, right? I don't care about your opinion right now because you don't have any sources
that provide controverting evidence.
What you don't have any evidence. You have none.
It would simply take me as a Google search to find somebody.
I'll give you your time. Go ahead and Google search it.
I'm not there, but that's not the point. Actually, the reason I joined the debate was to argue that these examples, like the climate change policy attempts, the coerciveness of it all, we could even cite COVID-19 and the mask mandates and whatever. All these attempts to deprive people of individual liberties are coming from the left. For example,
You still haven't named one.
On climate change.
You haven't named anything that the left has put into policy that is taking away rights. You talked about the gas stoves, which never made it into the law, and it was meant to protect consumers, which we both agree needs to be done. Unless your argument is that we should never protect consumers and they should just be allowed to put everything into the air and into their bodies, and that we shouldn't have regulations. People should just figure this shit out for themselves. If that's your argument, fine. That's a dumb argument, but that can be your argument.
Well, I don't think you have any. Just like climate change, you have no evidence that gas stoves have that.
Yes, we do. There's gas stoves. Gas stoves have been linked to asthma.
Yeah, but I don't think it's motivated by the public health dimension, because You've been using gas stoves. We've been using gas stoves for the longest time.
Yeah, and now
ever.
we have,
But now it has gotten the
and now we have the
impetus.
data on it, and we know that
And now it has gotten the
hold on,
impetus, but-
children living in a home with a gas stove have a 42% increased risk of experiencing asthma. God, my words are tough. I'm running out of words.
So do children of parents who smoke indoors. But let
Yeah,
people
you're
have
also not
research
supposed to
on
do that. Yeah, both of those things are harmful. Good point.
Yeah, but you don't have any law that forbids indoor smoking, and that's why the climate thing is more coercive. We can see from that. That
I
example.
mean, we have
itself
tons of laws that talk about
illustrates.
smoking indoors.
Do you have an outright ban or an attempt to define the kind of cigarettes people can smoke indoors?
Yeah, lots of places. A lot of places you can't smoke.
Just
What are you
pulling that
laughing at?
into
I'm
your
answering
rectum.
your questions.
There is no outright ban of indoor smoking, regardless of whether
Yes, there is. What
you're a
country do you
parent.
live in?
Where?
Literally, no. There's nowhere in my city that I can go and smoke inside except for like a cigar bar.
Where exactly is that? In what state?
I live in Arizona. Do you live in America? Literally every state. I don't. The only ones I can think of where you can smoke is like, I guess in Las Vegas, like in casinos. But even in most buildings, you can't. I think they have like a rule. I think it's against the law, except for they have like an exception for casinos.
So what you're essentially saying is that in the United States has federal law that bans indoor smoking.
Yes.
Would you cite the law and allow me to check it to pull it out myself?
No,
to pull it
no,
out
I'm
myself.
not going to cite that law because every single person in here
Because
knows
it's
that what I'm saying is
non-existent.
true, and I'd have to go state by state because there's state laws. But I promise you, nobody in here thinks that you're right. Even the people that would be politically aligned with you.
No, just cite the law. Cite the law.
No, okay, fine. I'll cite a law: indoor smoking ban, Arizona. The Smoke-Free Arizona Act that was established May 1st of
No.
2000,
A federal
2007.
law.
That's shut the fuck up. That's the law. The Smoke-Free Arizona Act. It banned all indoor smoking.
That's the federal law.
What are you saying? That's the law.
That's the federal law.
No. Do you know what Arizona is?
Okay,
That's
just
a
be
state.
intellectually
Listen, you potato. You fucking potato. Smoke-free Arizona. Arizona is a state.
You're an intellectual fraud.
It's a state, you potato.
Cite me the federal law.
It's not.
that
Literally, I
bans
said,
indoor-
hold on. Hey,
indoor
potato,
smoking.
potato. Before we said this, when I said I would have to go state by state because they're state laws, I said that before I answered.
In that case, I could also.
I'm
move
sorry
to
you don't
another
know how our
state.
laws
Since
work
I
here.
can-
My
I can
bad,
still
dog.
stuck on it.
What?
No, you don't have federal law. You don't have any federal
I didn't
law
say
banning
we had a
anything.
federal
But the
law.
gas stove example,
I didn't say we had a federal
Okay,
law.
fine, let's
We
agree
also
to
don't
that.
have a federal law for gas stoves either. We don't have a law for either of those two things.
Yeah, but you see now, that's why I was
Jesus
saying
Christ,
that
dude.
the
No,
attempt by
no,
climate
no,
change
you're
policy-
no. This is so dumb. What are you talking about? You're now playing semantics. You're just trying to get out of an argument because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is so stupid, dude. You're now like,
Let's
oh,
start with
well,
one
of
example.
course I
Let me
meant
use another
federal law.
example
What are
then.
you talking about?
Then how about free speech?
How about what?
How about free speech? Okay, let's talk about Donald.
Okay, let's talk
Donald
about free
Trump's
speech.
free
Let's talk
speech.
about
You
free
know what
speech.
the left has done? What about free speech?
Yeah, the only people legislating
The
the
current,
reduction.
the current.
Shush.
I can
Hey,
cite
potato.
so many
Shush.
examples
Shush.
of the left.
Shush. So the only party that has legislated speech in the recently has been the right, the Republicans. If I'm going to ask you the same thing, cite the law that Democrats put into place that limits speech. I'll wait.
This would be case law.
Cite
the attempt
no, this would not be
I think
case
it's
law,
Jack
you
Smith,
potato. Yeah, I don't
the
think you know what
attempt
case
to
law means
try
either.
to
Cite
muzzle
the law.
Trump.
Cite the law, please. You don't even have to tell me exactly what it says or where it was put into place. You can just tell me the law.
Number one,
You can just
have
tell me
been
which
intelligent
law.
enough
No, just
to
tell
know
me,
that
not number
we're
one, which
dealing
law? Which
with
law, Shav?
feedback here. I'm
Shav,
not
which
trying
law?
to talk over you.
Shav, which law?
I'm not trying to talk over you. Just we're having feedback.
Which law, Shav?
Yes. Number two.
Number two? Yeah, you're a troll. See you later, dude. How is he still talking? I kicked him. How the hell is he still talking? I don't even know how he's still talking. How did that happen? Oh, maybe I can just hear him. You guys can't hear him still talking? Okay. I could still hear him. That was weird. What time is it? 12:30. All right, I got about 15 more minutes. Is anybody in the box? Nobody in the box right now. Bizarre. Fucking bizarre. People are weird, man. Big sip of soy. That's right. Big old sip. I'm out of soy. I'm out of drink. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you very much. What's my business number 2? What do you mean, what's business number 2? I don't know what you mean by that. No, I didn't realize that. Was that the same guy earlier? Almond milk, you coward. Drink soy. What's up, Mark?
Yeah, nobody in the box. I wanted to bring up real quickly about the debate the other night.
Yeah.
I was just so I was so pleased that somebody from a strategic and also a humanitarian brought up our support for Ukraine.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a big deal, that kind of audience needed to hear that. Not only Christy brought up the humanitarian side, but Haley brought up the strategic way why we're helping Ukraine. And, mostly Republicans are watching that debate. And I think that's I was pleased to hear that. I thought, she far and away was definitely the most reasonable so
yeah, I thought she did great. I mean, I think if you're saying who landed the best blows, it was definitely her. I think the fact she got Vivek to be booed twice, I thought that was really good. I thought she was really good. Honestly, I was surprised. I thought that Nikki Haley was just going to continue to toe the line. When she announced her candidacy, I really thought she was just running for VP, but she's clearly actually running. She's not afraid to go after Trump. She's not afraid to go after Trump's little boy, Vivek. I thought she was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and you think it might be her time as, ambassador in the United Nations, that she knows that information now, that she understands a little bit more of the world than just South Carolina.
That's true. She's much better after her stint as UN ambassador than she was previously. So she was running in 2016 too, and we've seen her debate before. But it's clear that her foreign experience changed a lot of her views, and it seems to have changed her views on abortion too.
Oh yeah, that was another point. She brought up the fact that hey, we're not going to get the 60 votes we need in the Senate to do a federal ban. I was like, what? Wait, a Republican is saying this?
Yeah, that was wild. I could not believe that. I was shocked by that.
And we need more honesty. But I just wanted to bring up those 2 points. That it's so much easier to say, hey, we should be spending more money here than in Ukraine, but our foreign policy as the United States is important too, and they're not really, the Republicans in the House aren't really. Anyway, so one strategy of helping Ukraine is like a stopgap to stopping Russia's expansion. Yeah, and so she, I'm sorry. I know it's off topic. You didn't have
No,
anybody,
that was great. No, that was a nice change of pace after talking to potatoes. That was good. I was happy to have a change of pace.
Well, thanks for having me up. I
Yeah,
appreciate
good to
you.
talk to you again. Yeah, we'll see it. I'm hearing lagging. Is it me that's lagging or? Yeah, devastating for DeSantis. I mean, DeSantis's run was done. The problem with DeSantis is he severely underestimated how unlikable he is, and how eventually people, if you're not Trump, if you can't excite the people, if you don't have that kind of following, you can only last so long just speaking catchphrases before people get bored of you. And people are just bored. People are very bored of Ron DeSantis at this point. No charisma. Hi, Judy.
Hi, Jay.
How are you?
You know, I'm doing good. I always listen to you. But
I know, you're wonderful.
You know what's going to happen with that DeSantis, I'm afraid?
What do you
He's
think?
going to come back to Florida and take it out on us, that fucker. Right?
100%. Yeah. He's
gonna
definitely going
come
to do
back
that.
here, and he's going to be mad as hell. And as if we're not in horrible shape now.
Yeah.
You know, this guy is he's so mean and such an awful man. There's a man locally that has been feeding the homeless for 25 years. And because that's against the law now, you can't feed the homeless. It's against the law.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they closed him down. It's against the law to panhandle. Like you see the people holding signs like by the freeway.
Yeah.
No, they get a ticket. Oh,
Well, they
yeah,
don't-
or arrested.
Well, of course.
It's against the law. He snuck that in during the night, too.
So this is a 90-year-old man?
No, this
that
is
who
just
this
an old man that's like a retired chef or something.
Yeah, Arnold. Was it Arnold Abbott? Yeah, he had Love Thy Neighbor. He was 90.
He was 90. I know he was old. I didn't know how old.
Holy shit.
Shut him down. Can you imagine?
Because he was creating a cycle of dependency. That's gross. Republicans are gross. Demonization of the poor or homeless. Even that guy that wrote that whatever that Virginia song. Have you guys seen the clip going around of him being interviewed like 6 months ago?
I did
Have you
see
seen
something
that?
about the guy that plays the guitar that looks like a
Yeah.
man.
Suddenly that deep or that accent is not near as prevalent in this interview. I think it's maybe Newsmax who interviewed him. He's just been like a Trump guy forever. He's been around. It's such an op. It's like their Joe the Plumber moment. The Republicans think they had a moment with that. But if you listen to that song is literally blaming all of our problems on poor people. Like that's what that song is.
It's so sad. You know, I'm
Republicans are
retired,
gross.
70 years old, and I have to pay $1,600 for a 1-bedroom condo a month.
Jeez.
It's just we're the highest in the United States.
Yeah, I think we're right there. I'm in Arizona. We're getting close. I mean, I guess California in certain spots, but same here. I mean, if you want a studio apartment, you're $1,400. A 1-bedroom, $1,600. Unless you're just gonna live like in a dilapidated old beat down apartment. It's crazy.
I know, it's awful.
I think we bought our house, I think maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And when we moved, we had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and I think we paid like $1,250 a month for a house. And now that house is probably $3,000.
Oh, I know it. It's just absolutely awful. Thank God I have wonderful kids. My son's a lawyer, and my daughter works for University of Florida. So they help me if I need it.
That's a good daughter.
One more thing I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I was brought up in 2 religions. My mother was Methodist. My father was Seventh-day Adventist.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Remember those crazy people?
Yeah. Well, I just remember talking to you about this actually before. I had forgotten that.
Yeah. I think all of this religion is just fear-based.
Yeah.
It's totally fear-based. And that's what I think, and that's all I'm going to say because I'm an atheist.
God
Any of
bless
that-
you.
I won't keep you. I know your time is
Judy, I
almost
love
up.
you. You're the greatest. Thank
I'm
you.
around.
Judy's
Bye-bye,
been
hon.
a day one. You've been with me for a long time. You're the best.
have.
I appreciate
I
it, Judy.
have.
You found me early. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk to you later. I love Judy. That's another person that I think early on when I started doing TikTok, I mean, I still don't really know what I'm doing, but I really didn't know what I was doing then. Judy was around for that. All right. Let's see. Nobody in the box. I'll read the comments. We might shut it down. I may go live tonight. I think Fee's definitely going to want me to go live tonight. Fee, you're going to try and make me go live tonight, huh? I'm going to guess so. Let me look at the Discord. What's happening in the Discord here? Oh, thank you, Jen. Thanks for that source. I'm going to read that when we're done. Oh, thank you for the gifts. Past your bed. Yeah, tonight. Yeah, it might be. Hi, Fee. Jay smells like wool. Thank you for the gifts. No, I'm not in LA. I'm in Mesa, Arizona. I was supposed to be in LA. I'm not there today. I was supposed to go last night, and then just some things came up. So I'm gonna go probably next weekend or the weekend after that. Hi, Fee.
Hi, you tried to sneak out of your crate without permission,
That's right. And I got
and you got caught.
I got a proper beating. Yeah.
Yes, well, as it should be,
Yeah.
as it should
Hi.
be.
Are you coming up here to tell me what I have to do tonight? Again, for everybody, not my very real, very liberal
No, no, no,
girlfriend.
no.
Fee is just in charge of me, but in a different way than my very real, very liberal girlfriend. She just keeps me on track, but she physically abuses me far less.
Yes, because I'm not close enough. And there's
Right.
Ivy as well, and there's Kevin Mike. There's a group of us that try to keep him.
So nobody's afraid of me.
Unless they're on a golf course and betting money.
Sure. Then I'm comfortable.
Then I
I'm
would be
comfortable.
Team R2P.
It's
Yeah.
the most conservative thing about me is that I play golf, and don't think that I don't know that everybody who is liberal and heard me say that is groaning right now. I know that. I understand, but old habits die hard, people.
Hey, listen, my husband was a golfer. He got me to golf. It was one of the times where we never had an argument on the golf course. So,
Oh, really? That's hard to
yeah.
imagine. Yeah.
I
That's
know.
where I have
Me-
all my arguments.
Well, fuck came out of my mouth a lot, so much so that my father-in-law thought I changed the name of the game. He was an older gentleman who believed that ladies should speak a certain way, and to see him talk to his son about me as I was fucking this, yeah, my mouth was bad. So yes, it was hurt a lot. So yeah, you can only imagine.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I just came up to say, yes, it would be nice to have you up here at night when, Gen Z is available instead of
Yeah.
the middle of the day when we get the rest of us, and including me. So yes, I would like you to go live. And if we need to do a poll, IB, if you want to do a poll of the people who would like to have a nighttime live, that would be great if he's here. If not, I'll create one. Should we go live tonight? And, oh, you're clutching your pearls? You have pearls? You must be rich, Beth. Yeah. Okay. So I'll create a poll. I'll go down and see if we can get any of these, toxic masculinity. By the way, the black cowboy, was that his name before?
Yeah.
The one that lived in Hawaii?
Yeah.
He's the gentleman that we saw that he blamed all of the Trump flags on his sister. Do you remember having a conversation with him? He has children. He's against abortion. It was an abortion debate.
I don't remember. And yeah. And he claimed that flag was not his.
Right.
Oh, I knew I recognized him. Oh, so he's just full of shit? Yeah.
Well, he looks to me like he has some mental issues that maybe we should not address him publicly again. I feel bad for him. I do.
Okay. He was
So-
very angry. He's very, very angry. I remember him now. I knew I recognized him, but I couldn't remember why.
I get anger. There's lots of reasons to be angry right now, but normally you channel it to good things, right? You just, you don't come on TikTok and beat other people up. It's just weird. Toxic men are just weird. They don't realize how odd they are. So, okay.
So I would say probably if I'm going to go live, like maybe like between 7 and 8 Pacific. I know that's late, but I got to go hang out with my daughter for a while.
Oh,
and we're going to go swimming. So I want to, it's Friday night. Her mom needs a break too. So I want to spend some time over there. So it would probably be between 7 and 8, and we'll pick an exact time in the Discord.
And what time am I going live, Rich? Someday. I will go live someday. It's just not today. I have too much work to do. So I'm going to drop down now. Hopefully we get somebody in the box.
There's one in the box, so we'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Cheers,
Thanks,
guys.
Fee. Everybody, Fee's the greatest. Oh, shit, I cut her off. Sorry, Fee. Say it in the comments, or if you need me to say something, let me know. We had... Who was it? I just tried to bring somebody up. Was it Nathan? Nathan, I tried to bring you up right there. I don't know what happened. Was it Nathan? Let me look real quick. You can jump back in the box if that didn't work. Sorry about that. Maybe I accidentally pushed close. Whoever that was just in the box, I tried to bring you in and it went away. Oh, boy, I'm tired. Democrats pretend they're for your interest, but don't do shit. Yeah, sometimes it's true. Toxic masculinity not only hurts men, but the entire family dynamic. I agree with that. Why was he allowed to declare his own height and weight? I asked that yesterday in the Discord. Apparently, when we have enough people who have been arrested, that apparently a lot of times when you get arrested, you just tell them your height and weight. Thank you. Maybe not height. Actually, I guess the height is with whatever's behind you, but weight, I think they just say. I've been told from people who got arrested, and some people that got arrested multiple times, that they rarely were weighed. Jesus is liberal. Oh man, I don't know if I can do Jesus was a liberal again, but I might. I actually got some new information from some people. Some people have sent me some links, so at least I'll have some extra ammunition for my argument. I don't think you need more than that for the argument, but it'll be fun to not say the same goddamn thing over and over and over again. Driver's license still says 135. Mine says higher than that. I don't even know what my driver's license says. Conservatives are triggered by rainbows. That's true. Maybe we'll just throw up some rainbows tonight and see what happens. Maybe we'll just do that. I get weighed every time I go to the doctor. Every single time. I will. I'm going to do a live tonight. I just don't know exactly what time. Sometime between 7 and 8. All right. We got 15 minutes. Thank you, Piglet Mafia. That's very kind. We have 15 minutes. I can go VC. I do need to make a phone call when I get off this and just check on some things. That'll take a little bit. But I can probably go VC. Oh, Puppers is watching the live. What? Now I'm excited. Tell Puppers I said good boy or good girl. Well, Josie, you coward, stay up late. It's Friday night. Jay smells like Therese. Fucking nerdy. I probably don't smell very good. I started driving to California last night, and then I turned around. So I don't know. And then I didn't shower yet this morning, so I probably don't smell great. Fee, let's find somebody to raid, by the way. Actually, let's just ask the audience. We may just shut this down now. Who would you guys like to raid today? Thanks. I don't know if Priscilla's still here, or anybody that came in with Priscilla. I appreciate it. Thanks for the raid today. Smells like Feisty. Nerdy, you're a bully. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Welcome to Truckers Live. Raid just means like a raid is just when we send everybody. We all go into somebody else's live. Nate Debates is live. There's a good one. I don't think we've done a raid on Nate Debate. It's not like a real raid. We just call it a raid. You just show up and you say raid. Yeah, let's do Nate Debates. We haven't done that before. So we're going to go raid. Thanks, Jay. Next time you're live, let me know. Maybe we'll raid yours. But yeah, let's do that. Again, thank you. We hit our goal on subscribers today. That happened very fast. We have 60 subscribers now. Our goal was 58. New subscribers today. We had Josie subscribe today, Dragon Baka, and then we had Rowan Tree and IC. Well, no, those weren't yesterday. Yeah. Were there any other new ones today? I thought there were. Anyways, thank you guys so much for the support with that. That is the way that I'm supported currently. Another thing that you can do, look, I understand not everybody can pay for a subscription, can pay to give gifts. I appreciate the views, and I appreciate you joining in. The best thing you can do, join the Discord. That's also free. It also doesn't cost anything, but it's a good way to interact, and it's a good way for me to have help with getting links, articles, sources. I have a YouTube channel that I will be broadcasting from the next time we have a presidential or the GOP debate. If you could go to my YouTube channel, it's youtube.com/RTP Talks. It's on my link tree. Just subscribe to that. I put up videos every day. I'm going to start reposting my entire live, and that'll be on YouTube. So if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, that helps me out a lot. That gets me in the algorithm. If you see a video of mine on YouTube, if you hit like, that helps a lot. Drop a comment on the video. All these type of things you can do to help me out. If you can't support financially, I would really, really appreciate it. We'd love to have a bigger platform. We'd love to be able to host debates. We'd love to be able to have a better looking broadcast for you guys and a way for you to join in, a way for us to have structured debates and bring on better guests. It's hard to bring on a guest for an interview when all we have is TikTok. So that helps. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. If you follow me any of those places and interact with my stuff, that helps me grow as much as anything. So for those of you who don't want to support or can't support or just don't want TikTok to get some of your money because TikTok takes a good amount of the money, there's other ways you can support without spending money, and I do appreciate it. But join the Discord. If you don't have the link, there's a link in my link tree. If that doesn't work for some reason because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, just shoot me a DM, and I promise I will send you the link. We will keep you posted on Discord, and then I'll make a post later tonight on my stories when I'm going to go live. So look for that. If you turn on those notifications, that'll help. Also, liking my TikTok videos, that helps me. I do get paid. You get paid very little on your TikTok videos, but you do get paid a little bit of money. So I appreciate the support there. I don't know. Did I miss anything? No, you guys were awesome today. The comments were hilarious today. Thank you all for the gifts. Thank you for my Republican friends for showing up. Even the ones that don't like me very much, you showing up every day is so meaningful to me. And for everybody else that's not going to join us this Friday night, I hope you have an awesome Friday night. Stay safe, stay high, and I'll see you guys in a few hours. YouTube, again, it's in the link tree, but it's youtube.com/RTP Talks. It's going to be hard if you just search it in YouTube, so make sure you get that link because I have very little on there. It's not going to show up. I will see you guys in a few hours.